Shalom and welcome to Zion Lexx TV. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and share the live stream. Become a member of Zion Lexx TV and unlock several hidden features and hidden videos. Also, you can donate to Zion Lexx TV at Cash App $Zion Lexx or via PayPal at zionlex@gmail.com. We also have an online academy entitled Learn Torah Hebrew Academy. Visit us on patreon.com/learntorah. Our Gold Tier membership gives you unlimited access to our special event lectures and our special live movie nights. Our Platinum Tier gives you unlimited access to our Torah class, Kabbalah class, Patriarchs and Matriarchs of the Covenant classes, as well as understanding the New Testament via the Oral Tradition class. Our Diamond Tier gives you unlimited access to all of the previous tiers, as well as our most sought-after class, our Biblical Hebrew course. And finally, our highest tier, our Sapphire Tier, gives you unlimited access to all previous tiers, as well as our highly esteemed rabbinical course. Be sure to sign up today and check your tier membership so as to ensure you're getting access to the classes you desire. Thank you for visiting us here at Zion Lexx TV, and now back to our current live stream.
Purify me, Yah, in the flames. Purify me, see your let it rain. Purify me, Yah, in your name. Purify me, purify me.
Purify my heart, my home, my dome, my soul, bring peace. Purify this dirty water in my cup I drink. I only want the living water from the King. Only want the diamond pressing out of me. Only want the white garment that's clean. Only want the true facts, that's me. 24 carats I rock in my heart, but it sinks to the bottom, you know that it's pure. Coming in sharp like a dark and the aim is on point, so you know that I'm pure. Filter all the evil out of my life, so when I pour it's pure. You know that it's more. I didn't close them doors, so move your finger, boy.
Purify me, Yah, in the flames. Purify me, see your let it rain. Purify me, Yah, in your name. Purify me, purify me.
Trauma after trauma, trouble after trouble. Expected this way of life to be an eternal tussle. Thriller in Manila, told the Most High that I can't endure. Increasing power with each blow. I'm telling them, give me more. It's gonna take more than just one on that front line when it come. Boy, this spiritual warfare decided to come here, bring more than a gun. I've been purified, so down the ride as long as breath in my lungs. That consuming fire burnt my desires, never going back where I'm from. Go.
Purify me, Yah, in the flames. Purify me, see your let it rain. Purify me, Yah, in your name. Purify me.
Man, I step out the fire, my foot on the devil, I'm talking to y'all like a FaceTime. Purify my spirit, y'all say my soul, I've been trying to stay pure on this baseline. Old folks with the old me, they don't know me, just look at my waistline. Fridges drop on the bottom, Hakuna Matata, ain't worried about none of them headlines. Fake news in the media, I'm never media unless we talk about Torah. I'm just trying to go spread the bazaar, saying talking, I try to ignore. I'm looking for lost meanings in the scripture, I'm on an adventure like Dora. Y'all can write a designer, I write a designer, his image got me an immortal.
Cause I'm keeping the faith. If you're not with it, then move on my way. It's purification, it's keeping me sane. I don't get offended, cause I'm not the same. If you stuck in the past, or you stuck in the maze. Keeping it real, a minute behind is a minute too late. If the first shall be last and the last shall be first, but I endure to the end of who win in the race. Sin of perversion, I'm a face, shuffle your boots and tie your lace. Go through the fire, then conversate. Give me a time, dog, finna wait. You back in the hind, dog, on the lake. You read it all wrong, dog, connotate. You falling behind, dog, keep the pace. You heard it all wrong, dog, spin the tape.
Purify me, Yah, in the flames. Purify me, see your let it rain. Purify me, Yah, in your name. Purify me, purify me. Purify me, Yah, in the flames. Purify me, see your let it rain. Purify me, Yah, in your name. Purify me, purify me.
All right. Peace and blessings, everyone. We definitely have another banger. I have a very, very powerful guest for you guys here today. He goes by the name of Mr. Morpheus. If you're familiar with Sonnet TV, the House of Consciousness platform, if you're familiar with the Brother Garfield podcast, you have certainly heard of our good brother, Mr. Morpheus. Mr. Morpheus, I want to first greet you, good brother. When I say peace, blessings, and in the tongue of my ancestors, I greet you and I say shalom alaikum. How you doing, good brother? Morpheus, you there?
Yeah. You got a double you got a double thing happening when you talk.
Okay, you may have to close out if you have the video open on your screen. This video, me and the YouTube channel, you might have to close out the YouTube channel.
Oh, okay, even though it's not playing. Okay, all right.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time.
Okay, yeah, it's gone. It's gone. You're right.
There you go. So how you doing, good brother?
Hey man, what's up, teacher? I told you before. I got to call you teacher, man. You're doing amazing work, man. And I think that, like I said, I think you're a jewel to the community. You're a diamond. You know what I mean? Your knowledge, your growth, and the way you put it down, especially. I mean, we don't have anybody in the community that I know of that is an actual learned in the Hebrew language and text, and now and so I'm like, man, I said I don't know why people is not taking advantage, man, of the blessing, bro, of having you in our midst, So
I greatly appreciate those words, Mother Morpheus. I definitely do. Yeah. Oftentimes, especially as Black men, it's sometimes people find it hard. We find it hard to show love and show appreciation for one another. I don't know if it's out of machismo. We feel we too tough. It's not real to do that. I don't know why it is that happens, but I know when the opposite happens, when a brother shows you love, when a brother gives you your flowers, that's always a special and powerful moment, because that tells me that brother's a different person.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
yeah.
I definitely appreciate that.
We give accolades and honor and praise to people outside of us fast, man. And you know what I mean? That's like that. That's like an old parable that I used to always use from the Bible that said a prophet is without honor in his own country.
Come on. Always. You go out on your block right now and no love. When you turn on that YouTube, love.
We are our worst enemies, man.
Yeah, that's a fact, good brother. That's a fact, man. So I want to get straight into it, Morpheus. I want to say, far from being like a lot of people in the conscious community, you have a very thorough upbringing and journey when it comes to your introduction to spirituality. Can you talk to us about young Morpheus, and who is young Morpheus, and how does he come into spirituality?
Okay, interesting. First, let me explain the name. Why people say, well, Morpheus, why you call yourself Morpheus? I said, no, Mr. Morpheus.
Come on.
And the reason why I did that because I was called Morpheus before The Matrix, before all that movie stuff came out. So I said, okay. So, now that the name is out and people familiar with the movie, I said, no, you're going to put some respect behind my name. You're going to call me Mr. Morpheus.
There you go.
And the reason that I had adopted that name is because me being in the music business, and I had a recording studio up in Yonkers, New York.
Okay.
And I helped Mary J. Blige, producing her, help her develop, right, in order to get her too puffy in them. I did DMX's first album called Born Loser, and by me have that studio that I had, I used to let people from the neighborhood come to the studio. I used to have certain times that I would open up in charity, and I didn't charge them anything. But if I saw especially I saw people had certain talent, then my place was a home for them to develop their talent. So Morpheus, I knew in Greek was the god of dreams.
Okay.
And I say, well, I'm helping people's dreams to come true. You feel me? So I adopted the principle of what Morpheus represented, which was the god of dreams. So I adopted that a long time ago about that. So I said, where you get Morpheus? Because I'm helping people's dreams to come true. That makes sense?
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So that's where the name came from. You know what I mean? But prior to that, I just want to get over that part so people know, like, why you see Mr. Morpheus? Why do you call yourself Morpheus? That's behind that name, helping dreams come true. And I still do it. You know, I still help people with their, musical stuff. You know what I mean? With their productions and mixes and masters and blah blah blah. Sometimes for nothing. If they, you know what I mean? If I can help, So that's huge. That's the name.
That's huge.
Yeah, but I got a weird background. I was born in Oregon, Portland, Oregon. I was born on an Indian reservation called Multnomah, right? I came to New York when I was about maybe 5. Maybe 5 years old. But so I had that, connection or with people who are so-called Native American. But so I grew up in Brooklyn. I came to Brooklyn when I was maybe 4 or 5. My grandmother was when I came to New York. But my journey into spirituality and stuff kind of starts around 9, 10 years old. Okay. And the reason I say that, actually before that, because my grandfather and them were pastors, my great-grandfathers, that we had always had churches in my family on my father's side. We always had all these churches and stuff. Now it's funny because my father's side was all, like I said, my grandfather was really into the church, and my grandfather drug us to Bible classes and stuff, through a child. So he was trying to help, do his part from 5, 6, 7 to help rear us. Now on the other side, my father's brother, right, who predominantly raised us, was a Muslim. So he was Muslim. So I was under him more than my grandfather. I'd see my grandfather probably on the weekends, and he'd take us to church and so forth. So I was going through this whole tug of war thing, like between, my grandfather and my uncle. And my uncle was one of Malcolm X's bodyguards, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's the only one alive to this day that was there. And he was actually on stage, when Malcolm got assassinated. So at a young age, he brought me, I was being, taught about the Islam, but as a youth, of course, as a youth, we have our own little renegade fascist. So I was inside the 5% shit. Right?
Yes.
Me and my uncle used to tug of war, with that. But that was my first, I guess, introduction. You know what I mean? As far as the Islamic side, I was aware of the biblical or Christian side, if you will, from my grandfather and family, that side. So I was kind of in the middle, being taught, two different, I guess schools of thought, I'm going to call it. So, but what it did was it made me, as I started getting older, 11, 12, because I grew up in the streets, man. I grew up in the streets. So, we from faster.
Yes.
We way faster. We're processing it quick and fast. So even though I'm 10, 11 years old, I'm really like 16. Right. Am I right or wrong?
That's right. Yeah, so I remember that.
Yeah. So me and Mike Tyson was one of my best friends growing up, right? So in Brownsville, by the way, I grew up in Brownsville, right? So me and Mike were best friends. So when you used to hear about those stories of Mike Tyson robbing people on Belmont, Pickens Avenue, and all that, and I was the guy that was with him all the
time. So I gotta ask you the question: was you with him the day that he robbed Golden Arm's mother?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Yeah.
Dude from the Who.
Yes, sir. I was there, right? I was his crimey. We were crimies. He stayed at my house most of the time because his family lived in a situation. So we flew birds and stuff. I had my pigeon coop on the roof and stuff. That's what it was in Brownsville, right?
Right.
So
you God is his name, by the way. You God from
yeah,
Wu-Tang.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what happens with that is, we kept getting in trouble, man, and stuff. They sent us to Spofford, and then eventually going back and forth to family court and in different Spoffords and group homes and all this stuff. So they split us up eventually, and he went to Catskills and I went to Yonkers to a different home, a different home. But they split us up after about 2 years. But we was always going to the same facility. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I'm talking about how our mentality was, you know what I mean, in the streets, right? And to survive in the streets, you got to be, you got to be sharp. You got to be, you know what I mean. So all my brothers and sisters who weren't in the streets, I was more, for a lack of a better word, I don't want to say intelligent than they were. You know what I mean? But let me
ask you a question, if you don't mind me just butting in, because I mean. We can't just gloss over the fact that you could actually say, yeah, I know Tyson. That's not an everyday thing. So I just want to hang there for a moment and just ask you the bold question. What was Tyson known as in the streets? What was his name? They called him Lil Mike? Like what name did he go by, Tyson?
I just know him by Mike. He was a family member to us, you know what I mean? Okay. He was literally a family member. And every time I see him, I run into him. We start laughing like, he could just tell, yo, man, remember that time when we did this? Or what time did we do it? We'd be cracking up. You know what I mean? But so under being in the streets of New York and Brooklyn, man, it was rough. You know what it is. So so from that side, then I got introduced, right, to the SLR community. At about maybe 14, 15. Because my oldest sister is the one who introduced me to Dr. York. Right? So around, I'm in a 5% nation and stuff, man. And I'm doing my thing. I'm mastering this degree, that degree. I think I'm the hot shit, right? So maybe 14, 15 years old, I went down to Bushwick Avenue, man, and me and the guards, Melshawn, Bashir, we always talking about, we're going to go down there and we're going to destroy the Muslims, brother. Let's go down there and hit them with I said, boom. So I would go down there on Bushwick Avenue with the degrees ready to battle, right? So when I would go to the class and we hit them with the degrees and I'd walk out with my tail between my legs, right?
Look at that.
Because Doc was sharp. He knew stuff we didn't know, right? And I was like, oh, shit, right? And I'd go back and learn some more, come back next weekend, okay, I'm ready to go again. Every time I come in the class, bow, 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 bow. And I was like, yo.
I want to capture that moment in time. So you met Doc, otherwise known as
Malachi York.
Dr. Malachi York. Now, I want to say this. Around what age is this, Morpheus? This is
around 15.
So you're about 15 when you first meet him. All right.
Yeah, so right now, I'm going on 63.
Okay.
So do the math.
Wow. So how old is Doc? Doc would be in his 80s? Early 80s?
Yeah, probably about 81 right now. He would be probably about 81, 80 something. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So at this stage, there is no Nuwabi and stuff, and all that's way later. So at that time, the community was called the Nubian Islamic Hebrews.
That's what I remember that name. I remember with that designation. Yup.
Yeah. Yep. So so I'm.
If you don't mind, if I could say this. That designation, Nuwabian Islamic Hebrews, that was real palpable in the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah. That's in the early 90s, yeah. But prior to that, I'm still in the 80s. So in the 80s, he was fusing the Torah, the Tanakh, the Quran, Hadith, Islam, some Egyptian stuff. So he had this, and that caused a lot of problems amongst the other of the Sunni Islam of Muslims, right? Because it was like, on Bushwick Avenue, we had Bushwick Avenue on lock, right? And we had built our own masjid, right? So we were separate from the Sunnis For
Right.
Sunni Islam, what is that? Imam Tariq, Yassin, Masjid, and so forth. You know what I mean? So we was always at war with the Sunnis.
Yeah.
Right? We was always so because they was like, what are y'all doing? Y'all, what are you, Hebrews or are you Muslims? If there's so and so you're Muslim, we're both. We're all the same family. You know what I'm saying? And they wasn't having that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that caused a lot of conflict. You know what I mean? So I grew up in that part. But the interesting thing about it was I came in Islam as a practitioner. Let me emphasize that. A practitioner. What I mean is someone who practices, their religion. You may not be knowledgeable about the religion, but you're practicing, meaning you're following the rituals, you're going to the, to the mosque, whether the church. The same thing is not just for Islam, it's for anything really. You find a lot of people now who are Christians who don't know the Bible, right? But they're practitioners. You know what I mean? Am I right or wrong?
That's a fact. You're right.
Yeah. So I wasn't no different. I didn't. I looking back, I was like, I was no different. You know what I mean? But I thought I bought into it. I bought into Islam. I bought into it. You know what I mean? I bought into it because how it was presented, man. I saw people, man, on Bushwick Avenue, man. It was all dressed in white. They had a color code, a dress code. You know what I mean? A dress code, a diet code, and I thought that was so beautiful, bro. I thought that was so beautiful, man. Black people, man, we got, you know what I mean? We got our own thing. We got our art, you know what I mean? So I thought it was a beautiful thing. So I bought into that, and I became a practitioner, you know what I mean? And I was dedicated. So that journey went on, me being a practitioner of Islam was kind of weird because at the same time I was in the music business. You know what I mean? And then, but Doc had a lot of musicians.
A lot.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, he had shooting the 80s. He had predominantly 85% of the music.
Right. And I believe one of his oldest sons managed a lot of different artists.
Yeah, I know all this. Yep. Yeah, you're talking about Ishmael.
Ishmael, yes.
Yep. So Ish was managing. That was later on. He started managing, but Yaqub, Jacob was had Biggie Smalls and Little Kim. Yeah. So he was involved. So we was so when I started seeing that Doc was involved with the music business, I had some issues because I was like, I don't understand. Like, I'm confused. Like, because on Fridays on Juma, I see Imam Isa, right?
Right.
Imam Isa, the Mahdi, the you know what I mean, the guy, that guy, he's spiritual, you call it that. And then sometimes you see Dr. York, who's a different persona. He got green eyes and he's on stage and singing and I, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay. I tried to reconcile that a lot. Like, who are you?
Right.
And then, who are you? So as I got closer to him personally, and he let me get in personally because I was prominent in the music business with my group, the Foursome D's, right? So
wait. Hold on. You can't just say something like that and then move. You was part of the what?
Yeah.
I mean, you said the Force MDs?
Huh?
You breaking up a bit, Morpheus. How's your sound now?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of history here. Morpheus got a lot of history. Everybody throw up the video and share the live stream. Just a bit of a technical difficulty. Morpheus may be able to jump. We can hear you faintly, Morpheus, but your screen is frozen. So your screen froze, and we can hear you faintly. Chat. If his screen froze, just type a 1 in the chat. That way I know. There you go, Morpheus. There you go. All right, he just jumped out to come back in. Guys, there's a lot of history here. Morpheus, wow, he just said I was part of the Force MDs. I know some of y'all that's young, you guys may not know what that is, but for those of us who got a little years on us, we know who the Force MDs is. The Force MDs is for those of us that have. Okay. All right. Type of 1.
Hello, I think it's
you there, Morpheus?
Yeah, I'm here. I think it's StreamYard or whatever.
Okay. Good. The family said we're all good, enjoying this convo so far.
Oh man, thank you everybody, man. We just chopping it up, man. Two brothers chopping it up.
All right. So where you stopped at is me emphasizing timeout, Morpheus. You were a part of the Force MDs. That's what you're telling us?
Yeah.
Wow, man. Well, let me just tell you something. I knew Mercury personally.
Oh, you knew Merc?
Yeah, I knew Merc personally, man. When I moved from Brooklyn, I moved to Staten Island. And the part of Staten Island that I moved to is where Mercury whole family's from.
Oh, you was over there by Stapleton?
Stapleton, Mariners Harbor, all that.
Harbor? Get out of here.
Park Hill. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Me and Merc knew each other personally, man. I'm actually still cool with the family. Their family carries the last name of Dale. And just about every hood on Staten Island got family members that's called a Dale.
Yep, the Dales, exactly. Wow.
Yeah. No, I definitely know Merc, man. Yeah, Morpheus is a small world, brother.
It's real small, right?
World, man. Yeah.
How crazy is that, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? Yeah, so me being there, you know what I mean, in the music business there, afforded me some extra perks that other people in the community didn't have, because Doc used to, like, he had Blue Magic living in the community. He had different members of, you know what I mean? He was very, we was very connected. And then I brought Africa Bambaataa down to meet Doc. The next thing you know, they got the Nubian Nation. Remember that?
Yes, of course. Yep.
Yeah. So I was involved with a lot of that stuff, man, growing up. You know what I mean? It's funny though, because that's how it went down. So
before we segue into you coming into NOI and then you coming into other factions in Islam, I just want to stay here for a moment to connect one more dot with Dr. York. When I speak to people who come out of that lineage, the Dr. York lineage, they always tell me about 3 primary schools of thought: the Ansar Allah, that's like the late 70s into the 80s, and then the Nuwabian Islamic Hebrews, that's like the 90s. And I think now they're known as Nuwapu, right? So with those things in mind, I want to ask you this question. Does the theology change a bit as the names change, or does the theology remain the same?
The theology, that's a good question. As an Ansar, no, I would have to say it changed. I definitely have to say it changed.
Okay.
And why I say that, because there was a harmony between the Ansar and Nubian Islamic Hebrews. Those two merged together.
All right.
One of them was the extension from the other. Now, when you got into the Nuwabian stuff, right? This gonna blow your mind. I remember the day that we left Islam. I remember the day clearly, right? What happened was, me and this brother named Khalil was like, he's in the group also for some days, right? And me some other brothers, we was on 125th Street, right? Watch this, bro. We was on 125th Street. We had our table set up, blah, blah, blah. We were selling the books and pamphlets and all that. Now, I didn't have to do none of this stuff because I was musically and some, but it was a part of humility. You know, if that makes sense. You know,
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we doing our thing. But on 125th Street, it was this DVD. I never forget it. That his brother was selling. It was in one of the, you know, people were selling DVDs and videos, and this brother had this DVD, and it was a debate between one of the Islamic top scholars, right? Ahmadiyya. You ever heard of him?
No.
Ahmadiyya was one of the, if not one of the best, right, or the top that Islamic held as the champion of Islam, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was debating this Arab Christian, right? So I go inside the little thing to watch it. I said, man, D-Dot is going to destroy this guy. Zion. The Arab Christian dragged him.
Yikes.
You know, literally, he dragged him, right? Because Arabic was his native tongue. He's like, oh, no, you're not going to pull that on me, right? On this stuff. But he dragged him. And I sat in awe. And I tried to reconcile what I just witnessed, right? Because truth is truth, right?
Of course.
So I bought the DVD, ran back to the community, ran up to the studio of the Passion, and said, yo, Doc, you got to see this right here. He said, well, you got to see this. He said, okay. So gave him the DVD. Okay, cool. So, you know, we go about our business doing so-and-so. About maybe a month later, give or take, my time frame might be off a little bit, right?
Okay.
I started noticing Doc started taking apart Islam. So he's using what was happening on the DVD, right?
Yeah.
So because I saw the DVD, I know what I'm hearing, right? You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm like, yo, he got that from over there. Yo, he got that from over there. I was like, yo. So also at that time, we started pulling out of Islam. And then Doc said, okay, one day we was in family meeting, and he said, if you think Allah exists inside this book, the Quran, you a fool. And he threw the Quran. He threw it. Boom. Across the floor, right?
Wow.
The whole family was like, yo, astaghfirullah, a'udhu billahi. Everybody went like, what's going on here? Right? What's going on here? But I was sitting back and I was watching, right? So I was like, oh, I see what's going on right now, because he was honest enough to say that he couldn't reconcile, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The arguments that the Arab Christian came with. He couldn't reconcile that, right? And when I spoke to him about it, he said he knew this stuff. So now I'm going like, well, if you knew this, why are you teaching? You know what I mean? I was kind of confused. Like, so why are you teaching us Islam and stuff if you knew that these certain things were not true or lie or whatever? And Doc was very, 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 very sharp. You know what he said? He said, because I'm teaching y'all Islam because this is what y'all want. He said, so otherwise, he's like, I'm not telling y'all to believe in it, but he's like, y'all want Islam? I'm going to be the best guy to give you everything you want to know about Islam. Right? Everything. So while we're thinking that he believes it, right?
Yeah.
We're finding out, oh, sure, he don't necessarily subscribe to it 100%, but he's going to teach us everything we want to know. He's going to submerge us. He's going to submerge us in it, to the dress code, how you dress, how you eat, how you marry, how you bury, the dead, everything. He submerged us in it. So that was one of his slogans that he used to always say in the books, was that I came to give you what you want so that you will want what I have to give. So what he always do was submerge you in that school of thought, not just teach you like a book from the outside. He would, oh, y'all want to go to Hebrewism, as they call it? Yeah, I'm gonna submerge you on it. And he would build a whole a whole school, and bring in literally import from
Right.
Israel, bring them in, teachers.
Wow.
No, I'm dead serious.
No,
He
that's
would literally
serious.
import in teachers from Israel to learn Hebrew. He would bring in people from Egypt, Sudan, or so to learn Arabic.
He wasn't playing.
He wasn't playing with it, right? So
Oh,
then
no.
I was like, oh shoot. So when he left Islam, when he said, okay, we out of Islam, we done with that. Okay, now you're ready to go to the next whatever, the next lesson or the next, evolution. Then he said, he told all the sisters to take off their khimar, the face veil and hijabs, and brothers took off their jalabiyas and so forth. So now we're not Muslim anymore. And at that point, a lot of people left the community because they were like, I don't know what's going on. Doc Doc lost his mind, man. He said Islam is bullshit, excuse my language. And
Right.
so a lot of it really divided the community, man, because a lot of people was like, I can't, I don't know where we're going. I don't know where he's going with this, right? And then from there, that's when that Nuwabian stuff came. You got okay, so now we got a new okay. So that's what I'm saying. So the theology is
If you can, Mr. Morpheus, explain for those of us that don't have the experience of being a part of that organization. Explain for us, and especially for me in this moment, what is the W in Nuwabian? Right? What's the W in Nuwabian?
The W?
Yeah.
Well, I never got into the Nuwabian school.
Okay.
I never got into that. Like, I left as an Ansar when they left Islam, right?
Yes.
I left.
Okay. I always wondered, was that a feature of language that he was trying to show people that Nubia is not actually Nubia in pronunciation, is Nuwabu? I always was curious about that.
Well, what happened was actually, they have like a language they had that was called Nuwapic, right?
Yes, I remember. Mm-hmm.
You know who created Nuwapic?
Who?
The kids, the Mukminuns, the Mukminatis, the young kids in the community who spoke fluent Arabic, right?
Okay.
And you know how as kids we got our slang and stuff how we talk, right?
Of course.
They took the Arabic language because they didn't want the elders, the older people to know what they was talking about. So they created their own, their own dialect of Arabic, right? So Doc found out about it and he said, yo, that's powerful. That's powerful because they had their own language within the family, right? So he took that and said, hey, being that this is about the next generation and the children, he created or helped to develop. It was, like I said, it was already developed amongst the children. They had their own little language going. It's like, Pig Latin, and stuff that, a family of older people used to talk, and us kids, when they want to talk in front of us and they didn't want us to know what they were saying. Yeah. Right. That's what Nuwabic was. That's what it became. So that makes sense?
That makes sense. I want to say even there's a development there for me in thinking because I always wondered how the language was created. I always wondered why the emphasis on the W in saying Nuwabu. And so you're clarifying much of these things. And even me hearing that going from school to school, the Ansars to Nuwabian Islamic Hebrews to now Nuwapu, the theology in some sense does change. And you use one of his catchphrases or one of his monikers, which is that he came to give you what you wanted until you were ready to receive what he had to give, right?
There you go.
Which I want to say, the most important thing that I'm taking away from that sounds like this, and correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like he was willing to meet people where they were at in theology and then feed them the highest quality from that so that he can take them to the next stage. Am I accurate now? Am I capturing what he was doing?
You are 120% correct.
All right.
You are 100% correct. Right. That was my perspective of it. You know what I mean? Right. I was like, oh, I see what he's doing. I see what he's doing. So while people were saying,
I want to admit that's rather brilliant.
It's genius.
Yeah.
It's actually genius. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow. So I stayed the course. But here it gets juicy, right? In that journey, right? I was afforded to be able to travel. So I went to Sudan, right? So I was so deep in, I want to learn more about the Ansar, the Mahdi family and all that. And out of it, remember, I'm a practitioner.
That's right.
Keep in mind, I'm still a practitioner, right?
Right.
So my focus was, learning Quran, as much Quran as I can, learning to recite Quran. Because why is this important, what I'm saying? When we hear the word Quran today, right, at least a lot of, I would say all, for the most part, African-American Black people.
Yes.
We think of a book, correct?
That's right.
We think this book is called the Quran, right? But if you look and understand the word Quran, for the word qara, means recite. Come
on. Can I take the time, Morpheus? My apologies for keep cutting in, but the dots are connecting heavy. I want to mention in this moment something that's unique. The oldest name to describe the Hebrew Bible is not to call it Tanakh. Tanakh is a modern era innovation. When you go into the oldest text to see how the Hebrew Bible was described by the people who were writing it, they literally called it qara.
Oh, makes sense.
So, makes sense. Because the Arabic equivalent is Quran.
Yes. Quran, exactly. Yes. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for that.
Right. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So Quran means recitation.
That's right.
Book would be al-kitab.
That's right.
Is there any correlation there? Kitab?
So kitab, absolutely. That's right. Kitab could refer to a writing tablet, that which is written. Kitab in Hebrew literally means to write. We have a word for book. That word is sefer. But when a person is referencing that which is written, yes, we can be talking about a book. So kitab in Hebrew can also denote a book. Absolutely.
Exactly. Right. A writing, a book, a so-and-so. Right. Yes. Exactly. Right. So watch this now. So now we start to getting deeper. So now at this point, right, I'm passing practitioner, right? And I want to get into learning what it is that I'm reading. You understand, rather understanding.
Yes.
Not just reciting. Most Muslims recite Quran, and rightfully, because it means recitation, to recite. But they don't understand what it is that they're reciting, right? Because recitation is something that's done for memory, right? But I wanted to go deep further into the language, right? Because I want to understand what I'm reciting. What is this? What is this word? These words, blah, blah, blah. What does this mean? Where does it come from? So-and-so, right? And that's where the egg got cracked open. What do I mean by that? Because when I started to dig into it as academic side, the academic side of me, that's where I started seeing all the holes. And I'm saying, oh, what's going on here? And there was a lot of things that I couldn't reconcile. And then I would run into other Muslims or sheikhs or people who are really high academic who knew the same things, right? But it was shh. It was hush hush. Like those are things we don't talk. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
yes.
I'm struggling with like, yo, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Because what you tell me so and so does or says is not what it says. So I'm saying to myself, why would you do that? You follow me? Like, yes. Why would these sheikhs and so and tafsirs and says something in Arabic, mind you, and give you a translation of it in a book in English, and it's not saying the same thing. So I started to say, hold up, what's going on here? It makes sense. You got to question that, right? Like, why would you do that? That means that you have an intention. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree.
Yeah, so you have to question that, right? So then I struggled with that for quite some time, right?
Yes.
And let me give you a perfect example, if I may, what I'm talking about, right? Because maybe this will help demonstrate. Boom. Hold up. Cool. All right, let me share my screen, right?
Okay.
Share screen. Boom. Cool. Watch this, brother. Can you see this? You see my screen?
Yes, we can see it. Yep.
All right. Now, this website is called Sunnah.com, right? Sunnah.com is created and developed and supported by the Saudi Arabia. So it's at the highest level, Sunnah.com, correct? So this is not mine, and this ain't my personal stuff, whatever, right? So
Yes.
in this particular hadith here, right? And I found this out later on. Now, keep in mind now, right? This is what's called, you see this word in the bottom, Sahih al-Bukhari?
Yes.
Pay attention to that word Sahih. Sahih means authentic. When you're reading about stuff in Islam, and as far as hadiths concerned, they're in different grades. Like Sahih is grade A, Hassan is grade B. You know what I mean? And so you got a da'if, which is like, it's kind of weak. It's still accepted, but it's kind of weak as far as the transmission is concerned. The Sahih is grade A, which means they say this is very authentic, right?
That's right.
So watch this. And the reason why I'm showing you this is important, because I don't know if people realize this, but 85% of the Muslim world are non-Arabic speakers.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize that, right? So 85% are non-Arabic speakers, meaning they can't speak. They can recite. You know, we've learned how to recite the Quran, but actually being able to conversate, actually have these conversations in the language, only like 10-15% speak Arabic. So that means that the majority of Muslims, or especially African-American Muslims who convert to Islam, we're depending, right, on these translators, Yusuf Ali, Muhammad Pickethall, whoever it may be. We're depending on their, we accept that their translations is, you know what I mean,
That's
authentic,
right.
and they telling us the truth. They're Muslim. They wouldn't lie. I'm Muslim. This is what we say, right?
Right. I mean, you're basically saying what some people can see in aspects of the Israelite community. Captain Tazariak relies on the King James version because he doesn't know Hebrew.
Right.
So it'd be the same thing.
Right, exactly. So I started seeing problems. Like, I'm giving you an example. If you see this right here, and I say you're African American or you're a Muslim, you become Muslim, and you read this hadith, and it says, the prophet said, right, the reciting of Zabur, which is the Psalms, was made easy for David. He used to order that his riding animals be saddled, and would finish reciting the Zabur, which is the Psalms, before they were saddled, and he would never eat except for the earnings of his manual work. Now, watch this. If you read that, what would you get from that? It's not a test. I want to show you something.
Let me just highlight the screen so I could see it, because it's small on our end, but I could see it here. Let me hold up my tablet.
Want me to make it bigger?
It says, okay, the prophet said, the reciting of the Zabur, the Psalms, was made easy for David. He used to order that his riding animals be saddled and would finish reciting the Zabur before they were saddled. And he would never eat except from the earnings of his manual work. Now, what's your question again?
What would you get from that based on what you just read?
Reciting of the Zabur.
That David used to read the Psalms, right? Or recite the Psalms.
Absolutely. That's the first takeaway, yes.
Yeah, right. You want to hear something funny?
Yes.
You see how I got that behind it?
Yes.
That's not what that says.
Mm.
No, this is going to make you laugh. You ready?
All right, go ahead.
This says, Al-Khalif ila Dawood ila as-salam al-Qur'ani faqan yarmul bi khawadi Fatu Soroj Fayakwara. Why is that important? You see this word right here?
Okay.
You see what I got highlighted?
Yes, I'm looking at it right now.
You know what this word is?
What word is that?
Al-Quran.
So it's referring to him reading or reciting the Quran.
Yes.
Not the Psalms. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You see, so I'm going, so why are you telling me that he was citing the Psalms when the word here is Al-Quran? He was reciting the Quran. But now you got to say, wait a minute, how could David be reciting the Quran, right? If the Quran wasn't revealed until Muhammad.
Ooh. Okay.
Are you with me so far?
I'm following.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this stuff in the Arabic and I'm going, that says he was reciting. You see the word here, Al-Quran, right? You see it here.
Yes.
Right? Al-Quran. You see it again here. Al-Quran. So I'm like, so the Quran was made easy for David? So he would order his.
The conversation is incredible. We're just having some technical difficulty with are you there, Morpheus?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. Just want to remark that the conversation is incredible. We just got a little bit of hiccups with your audio, but apart from that, brother, you are cooking. We listening.
Yeah. So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So then I started questioning these translations, like these translators and stuff, right? And I'm saying to myself, you know, I learned Arabic, I learned something, but I'm going, why would they do this? Why would you tell me it's saying something that it's not saying? And then I started to think about it. I was like, oh, because now you would have to explain how the heck is David reading the Quran? So they don't want you to see that. You feel me?
Right.
So rather than say that, because now it takes you down a whole nother world now that you got to explain. They say that David is David, and David is associated with the Zabur, with the Psalms. They saying he's reading the Psalms, but the Arabic don't say that.
Okay. All right.
That makes sense?
That definitely makes sense with what's written, but let me ask you to make sense of this, because people are going to ask. People are going to ask retrospectively, if the Bible comes before the Quran as a written text, as a written work, people would ask, why would David be reading the Quran? How do you answer that?
It can't. You can't reconcile that. That's the whole point I'm making. It's no way you can reconcile that. You can't reconcile that.
All right.
So then I'm started to see a whole lot of this going in, and all these different hadiths and so, and I'm starting to say, you know, so then now I understood what Doc was saying, because Doc knew this. He knew these things were problematic, right? But I think I had reached a certain degree where I started to, you know what I mean, be able to point these things out. Because remember, a regular practitioner is not going to see this. He's not even going to look for it.
Right.
He's not even going to look for it. All he wants to do is just, you know, be a faithful Muslim. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
You know, go to the masjid, raise his family. You know, and he has the belief that he's going to go to Jannah. That's the basic fundamental. That's all they want to do, right? But when you start getting to the academic stuff and going into it, that's when your brain start going, hold on, wait a minute. What's going on here? What's going on here? You know what I mean? And it opened up a lot of questions. And I could show this on and on and on and on. This is not somebody would say, well, that's one thing. No, I can do this forever. I can do it forever, right? I started to see things like this. Perfect example. And you might appreciate this. Right? Let me pull this up. Watch this, brother. Watch this. Cool. There's a surah here. Please forgive me to the chat, please.
Take your time.
There's a surah here that I want to pull up. I want to share again, if I may. Here we go. You see my screen?
Yes, yes, I'm going to share it right now.
Okay.
There we go.
This surah, number 17, called Al-Isra, right?
Yes.
So everybody today, Muslims today, know this surah called Al-Isra, which means the night journey, correct?
Yes.
This surah was originally named Bani Israel.
You know, I have some people that are Quranic scholars that are members of my academy, my classes, and a couple of them have actually pointed that out before.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah.
So you see, I'm not making this up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was originally called Bani Israel, the children of Israel. So there was a whole surah called the children of Israel. So then now you got to ask the logical question. Well, if it was originally called Bani Israel, why does it change to Al-Isra?
Oh man, if you don't mind, good brother, Mr. Morpheus, we need you to repeat that once more because your audio went out a bit. Repeat once more in correlating that the surah used to be originally called Bani Israel, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, I'm there with you. I just need you to repeat this last part because your audio went out. So just refresh our memory, reset just one moment. You said that this particular surah was originally called Bani Israel. So state what the surah is and then go into that information.
Yeah, Surah 17, called Al-Isra, is translated as the night journey. That's what they call it as, right? It's supposed to represent, Muhammad's night journey to Masjid al-Aqsa, right? From Mecca or Medina. Yeah. So that's what it's called now, today. If you open the Quran today, you would see 17 called Al-Isra. But it was originally called Bani Israel.
And even though I know what that means, can you translate, sir?
Yes, the children of Israel. So the Quran.
I had to drop the bomb on that.
Boom, exactly. Boom, right? So it had a whole chapter, a whole surah called the children of Israel. So then what goes through your head when you hear that? When you like, you know what I mean? Like, what's your thought process? Like, you know what I mean? When you hear that or you discover that?
Well, the first thing that tells me is if we need to change the name, there could be a number of reasons why there's a name change, right? But it doesn't sound to me that it's a superficial name change in the sense that the person had great intentions. It sounds like something that is attempting to be concealed or hidden from what I'm gathering.
That's my thought process, right? And I did a lot of research into that area and I saw what was happening. I was like, oh, they concealing certain stuff, right?
Mr. Morpheus, I'm sorry, good brother, but I do want to put someone on what I sometimes call the summer jam screen. This is somebody that I don't know personally, but I do know who he is from Son of the TV. He calls himself Cuban Crisis. He's been critiquing.
That's my man.
Well, he's been critiquing much of what you've been saying so far.
That's okay. He has a right to his opinion.
Absolutely. But I just want to read what he says, and I want you to weigh in on it. He says, I'm not, it's true. He's talking about you, was never Muslim, a follower of York. His talking points is from York. Then he says, Quran, Iyun, and Orientalist, but enjoy, y'all conscious cats know everything. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. I'm not trying to stir up anything, but I just wanted to know.
I know him. We spoke a couple of times. I hope, my brother, I hope your health is, Okay, you know, we talked a lot, but yeah, I mean, he has a right to his opinion. But as far as my credentials is concerned, I'm like, that's wrong.
Right.
You know,
Right.
as far as you want to have a different opinion about theology, that's fine. Well, I ain't got a problem with that. You know what I mean? But everybody know me from Ansel, from knowing Doc personally, and I got his children I can bring on to tell you that can vouch for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But fine. It's still peace and love to you, Cuban crisis. You still my dude. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about it. I'm not, you know.
That's good. That's good. I appreciate your approach. That's dope.
Yeah. Where was it? Where did we leave off at?
So we ended off now just referring to the Bani Israel.
Oh, Bani Israel.
Into something else.
Yeah. So so we were saying, so I started thinking like, why would they hide that? You know what I mean? Why would they change, you know, names and stuff? And not only that, when you look at the Quran, watch this. I like to show stuff that anybody at home can do their research, so you don't, you know, just say, well, let me just listen to what he's saying. You can see this for yourself. Watch this, brother. Here we go. So I started noticing stuff like this, right? Share my screen.
Okay.
Again, cool. Tell me if you can see my screen. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So what am I showing? This is supposed to be the revelation order of Quran, right? Okay. So the order starts with number 1. So this is supposed to be the first surah that was, as they call it, revealed. It's called Al-Alaq.
Okay.
Today it's Surah 96. So if this was the first one that Muhammad received, why is it 96? Right?
Yes.
This is as you can see, this is the chronological order of the surahs.
Oh yeah.
So if we're looking at this stuff, we're going, wait a minute, what's going on here? Who's moving stuff? You know what I mean? What authoritative, you know, group of Shuhabas or whatever that's moving stuff when the Quran is being put together? Who's moving stuff from their proper order? Today, when you open the Quran, this right here, Surah Al-Fatiha, was originally number 5. Today in the Quran, it's number 1. So if we go down this whole list, none of this stuff is in the chronological order.
And you know, just from a theological standpoint of how books are put together, I would say that that's a red flag, and that's clearly highly problematic. That's an issue.
Yeah, it's an issue. Yeah, so these are issues that I started, you know, seeing. I started seeing these issues, bro. You know what I mean? Okay. I started seeing these issues, and in seeing these issues, I started to say, hold up, what's going on here? What's going on here? Why is Al-Fatiha is in every Quran is number 1, but it was actually number 5? Well, Al-Alaq, which is the one that supposedly disclosed with the Hadith story that when the angel Jibreel came to Muhammad and recited this, Al-Alaq, this one, Al-Alaq, number 1. We used to Iqra, which means to recite or read. Iqra bismi wa rabbika alladhi khalaq. That's Surah Al-Alaq, right? So that should be, you know, the opening, because this is the first time we supposedly receive revelation, right?
A brother named Aslam Mahdi, who I actually know, he says Doc's translation of the Quran put them in the order they originally came in.
That's right. That's right. I had that Quran. He's 100% correct. And that caused problems with the Islamic world, because Doc had it in the proper orders. You see what I'm saying?
Right. This is powerful. I'm just going to hold you for one moment, Mr. Morpheus, because we had an Islamic scholar join the building. His name is Biggest Titan. If you can just show your face, Biggest Titan. We need to see. There you go, good brother. I'm going to just put this down for a second. Introduce yourself real quick and share quickly with us what you would like to say. I want to make sure that Morpheus can have his full show, but you wanted to join, so go ahead, Biggest Titan. It's on you. You there? Biggest Titan, you would have to unmute your mic. And
Can you hear me, yeah?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Just to make sure we can see your face.
So, because I'm in the in America, you call it the cut. I'm in the cut, you know. So.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Cut, so,
He in the dark. He in the cut right now.
All right, you good. You good, brother. Go ahead, talk.
So, obviously, this is a holy platform. I've been locked into this platform, so I come with the greetings of Shalom Leka and Salamu Alaikum Barakmatullah.
Thank you, good brother. Thank you.
Yeah. Peace, Morpheus, man. It's been a long time, man. You remember me?
Yeah, man. Peace and love to you, bro.
Remember, man, that the UK guy, you know, from back in the day, man, on Q-Butter's platform, and was going back to back, and I had to correct Sabio because he said something about the Messiah is not in the Quran, and I had to show him. Remember?
No, I don't remember that. But
then you were saying the law and Ilah.
I don't think I would ever say the
anyway,
Messiah.
We passed that. Anyway, we get onto the
yeah. But I don't think I would ever say that the Messiah, the word of Messiah.
No, that was Sabio. That was Sabio.
Oh, Sabio said it. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Sabio said it. But if you can't remember, it's no problem. So obviously, I got a lot of things to say, but regarding this specific thesis you're pulling up right now, regarding the chronological order and the traditional order of the Quran, this accusation or whatever the angle you've got towards it's not really an issue, because we've got a traditional order and a chronological order, and it's furthermore it's actually that is good like that because it safeguards and protects certain information from outsiders. And Zion Lexx agreed to you, and I was even like, Ross, say words Zion Lexx agree, because if I'm not mistaken, the order of the Old Testament, Genesis to Deuteronomy, that's not even the chronological order, if I'm correct. I think Deuteronomy is the oldest book, if I'm not wrong.
Genesis chronologically is in the right order because it's describing the beginning. Now, if you're talking about chronological in terms of what books are written first, I understand what you're saying. But in terms of chronology of events, this is why Genesis is placed first.
Okay. So with Islam, we've got two styles of how we receive the Quran. So we've got it in chronological order and the traditional order. So the chronological order, the one that compiled this was Ali ibn Talib radiallahu, and he's the one that we get our knowledge from. That Surah 96. That's the first chapter. Morpheus said Surah Fatiha is the 5th chapter. He's correct. Yeah, the 5th chapter. He's correct. That's based on the chronological order. But the traditional has another wisdom to it. But if you're not privy to the sciences, you won't know what's going on. So you're gonna be like, you're gonna have shubahat, you know, you're gonna have doubts. You know what I'm saying? So these things.
All right. Mr. Morpheus, this is your show in this moment. So I'm going to allow you to do what you need and what you want to do, Mr. Morpheus. It's on you.
Okay. Okay. So let me address what you said about because I want to make sure I'm clear. That are you saying that are you acknowledging that they're not in the proper order of how it was written or received? Are you acknowledging that? Like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, so I acknowledge that how we receive the Quran is in two ways. So we've got it in chronological order and we've got it in traditional order, the Sunnah order. When you're talking about the chronological, the Tariq is different. You know what I'm saying? The origin, that's a different thing. And then when you talk about the Sunnah, that's a different compiling, you know what I'm saying? So these are two different sciences, what's going on. And you're just, obviously, you've got knowledge of one and not of the other. Because I'm sure you didn't know Imam Ali has a big input of compiling the Quran.
Let me ask you a question. Are you a Shia?
No, I'm Sunni. Normal. I don't even like using these labels. These labels are Johnny come lately.
Because you said you said that Ali, right? But unfortunately,
it's no problem to have respect for him. It's part of the Sunnah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, unfortunately, that is not the Ali's version of anything. Ali is not accepted as the majority of the Islamic world. That's why I asked that question.
I got taught this in the mosque. Like my imam's kind of like, he's big where I'm from. I got taught this in the masjid. So you're probably coming from a different worldview. Like in UK is a bit different. So I got taught this in the masjid. Imam Ali had the input in compiling the Quran. I didn't learn that from no Shia. So yeah.
Yeah, but if you're talking about Ali, you're talking Shia.
Not really. Still.
Or are you talking what? So are you talking Sanafi?
I'm talking the four Rashidun. That's what I'm talking about.
No, but that depends on what thought you're talking about. That's what I'm trying to say. That
I beg
really
your pardon?
I said, but that depends on what school of thought that you're referring to.
Well, how can I put it to you? I actually like UK is a bit different, you know. It's not. It's the school like what you're going by is kind of outdated. It's not that. Like, I'm actually Muslim to date, so them kind of arguments you're using is outdated.
Okay, let's see.
In the beginning, in the early 2000s, when people's immigrating to the UK, people would bring their baggages with them. But as time goes by and people settle down and people understand each other's different madhab and manhaj, then everybody comes with a simple understanding and a simple way, even though we still have respect for the four great scholars of the school of thought, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, Hanbali, and Abu Hanif. So
can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
Who's Yasir Qadi?
I would run to Imam Malik.
No, I'm asking, do you know who Yasir Qadi is?
Oh, I thought you said who's my fiqhi, sir. Sir. Yasir Qadi. Oh, my man from America.
No, he's not. No, he's not from America. But anyway, if you don't know it, you don't know. It's cool. The reason why I brought Yasir Qadi up is very important. Because Yasir Qadi, right, is known as one of the academia. Right? Are you with me?
I'm listening. Go on.
Okay, that's what I'm asking you. So, Yasir Qadi, who's one of the top, at the very top in the Islamic world, right? As a scholar.
Not really, but he's recognized in academia. But I get what you mean.
That's what I just said. So
academia.
So, yeah.
In Islamic world,
I'm talking academia.
Really. In Islamic world,
I'm talking academia.
Really. But go on.
I'm speaking academia. I'm talking about academia.
No
everything that I'm approaching academically. At least that's what me and my brother Zion.
I love that, man. That's what I'm
eventually was talking about. Am I right, Zion?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So we're talking academics. Right? We're not talking tradition. At least I'm not. I'm not talking none of that. I'm talking about academic. So why is that important? Can you share my screen?
Yes, let me share that right now. Let me share that for you right now.
I want you to listen to what Dr.
What in the Quran thing, that narrative.
Yes, you see it?
That old school Wahala.
No, not that one. I'm sorry, not that one. Hold on. I want to address this. Okay, hold up, boom. Is this the way?
Remember, you said we're talking academics, you know?
Yes, sir. That's all I want to talk is academics, actually. Sorry. I want to address this. Please, I'm sorry, brother. Share my screen again.
Yes, yes.
I want to show you conversations that are taking place in the back rooms, right? This is important, right? I want to show you conversations, what they're talking about, and this is going on all in the back. I've known this for years. I've been part of these circles. All right, I'm gonna play it. Listen.
academia. I listen to and I read books written by Quran scholars that are not Muslims in the academy. Recently, I purchased a super expensive book by Brill. You have to do that. And I engage with actual academics. I want to be very clear here. But these missionaries in particular, they have nothing to do with the world of academia. They are untrained, unqualified, ignorant, arrogant individuals who spout ridiculous claims that don't have a shred of credibility amongst actual academics. They don't even read Arabic, and they are literally like blind mice grabbing at whatever they can, trying to concoct a completely bizarre narrative and then preaching some garbled rubbish. Obviously have no clue, as to right and wrong about the religion of Islam. And because they have repetitively done this, I will have to break my rule and just for once give these idiots the smackdown that they deserve, to show them, because they have no integrity, to show them that they are utter fools who should not and cannot speak about the religion of Islam, because they are a disgrace to the field of academia. They untrained, ignorant people who don't have a clue about what it really is that they're talking about. Yesterday, for the first time in my life, I swear by the creator who created me, wallahi wa billahi wa tallahi, I looked at the series of topics and I chose one at random, completely, as Allah is my witness. I swear by the one who created me, this is the first link that I clicked on, and within 5 minutes of just scrolling through, because I'm not going to listen cover to, I don't have time to listen cover to something like this. And within 5 minutes of going through, this is what I found. Listen to this.
And then he sent to every Muslim province one copy of this original. One to every province. Now let's see, what provinces is he talking about? Well, he's talking about the province here.
Stop right there, right? This is what he's talking about, right? I just want to get that part. Now, wait a minute. Now, he's saying this. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying to share.
Student of knowledge knows, who studies Ulum al-Quran, that the most difficult topics are ahruf and qira'at, and the concept of ahruf and the reality of ahruf, and the relationship of the arithmetic ahruf and the preservation of the ahruf. Is it 1? Is it 3? Is it 7? And the relationship of the qira'at to the ahruf. This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out, and you don't fully comprehend. When you do a deep dive is when things get very, very awkward and difficult. And this isn't new. This is from the time of the Sahaba. This is not a joke, brothers and sisters. The issue of ahruf and qira'at caused confusion to somebody whom the Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to listen to the Quran directly, listen to Ubay. Ubay is not some even average Sahabi. He is the Qari of the Quran. He is the master. He is who he is. And he goes, فَدَخَلْ فِي نَفْسِي شَكْ. Again, this is you're asking some very honest question. The first time I'm saying these things. Many people are aware who listen to my lectures that I've mentioned the crises that happened to me at Yale. This was the issue. That the issue of ahruf and preservation and qira'at and relationships between them, these are very, very difficult issues. And the most advanced of our scholars, they're not quite fully certain how to solve all of the unanswered questions in there. Here's the point. These issues should only be discussed amongst people who know what the qira'at are.
Stop. What did he just say? Brother Zion. I can't hear you.
My fault. I'm here, Brother Morpheus. Go ahead.
What is he saying?
Could you retort that for us? Because I had to turn my attention for a moment to look at my phone. My apologies.
All
But
right.
the other brother is also here too, and he
No,
may
I'm
be able to
listening.
respond.
I would like to reply if
Okay.
possible. Because
What
the
is he
video's
saying,
on,
bro?
I'm meant to listen. So technically, what he's talking about is the different recitations of the Quran. So you've got 7 main different qira'at, different recitations, and in general, I think there's like 15 or up to 20 that's out there. But you've got the main 7, the body of 7. We've got hadiths to back this up. And do you know anything about the topic?
You asking me that question?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not asking you that. I'm not like, what is he saying?
I know he's talking about different qira'at, different recitations.
No. You maybe I need to play it again. Okay, let's do it. Let me do. I want to highlight certain things. There's 2 things. That's the most important.
Don't be too long-winded. Go to the.
No. We're not going to play that long-winded stuff. If I want you to get the understanding, it's going to take as long as it takes. I don't play that. No, I don't do that stuff, bro. I don't microwave.
I'm not trying to be able too long as your show as well. I need to actually do things as well. But
I'm telling you, I don't microwave information.
Okay, no problem. Play. Let go.
Cool.
Don't worry.
All right.
Play.
So, was I?
Yeah, I'm here, Morpheus. We just waiting on the video to play.
Okay.
But you're like, what is with this?
Listen to this.
When you're the beginning, this is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out, and you don't fully comprehend.
Stop. What is he saying right here?
What's his context?
Huh?
What's the context of what he just said? I hear you just played it. Okay, what's he trying to say? I don't get it.
Zion, what did he just say?
I missed that part, Morpheus. My apologies.
This is important, right? This part. Pay attention to this, right? It's only like 15 seconds, 10 seconds. Listen again.
And you don't fully comprehend.
Right here.
Say and regurgitate it out. You learn to simply.
Here we go. I'm sorry.
When you go a little bit more
right here.
Knowledge, you're like, what is all of this? When you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out, and you don't fully comprehend. When you do a deep dive is when things get very, very awkward and difficult. And this
Stop. What is he saying right there?
Okay, so for me, I'll answer first. It sounds like he's saying that most people, the way they're taking in the Quranic information is that they're regurgitating what others are saying. They're not really doing any studious work on their own. However, when they begin to take on that task of doing studious work on their own, that's when things become awkward. And I'm assuming he's meaning that the awkwardness is in what is revealed from studious study.
That's right.
No, what he meant is, as a talibul ilm, a student of knowledge, which will be taught by the teacher, you get taught the little bits, then you get taught the mediocres, then you go deep. While all of this teaching and learning is going on, you've got a teacher there, so it's not by themselves. But yeah, go on.
Okay, so that's what you think he's saying?
That's what I know. I've gone through. Well, not fully, but I've actually, I'm, in the masjid,
Okay, so
not to the best ability, but I'm
hold that thought. Now I'm gonna go to the part 2, which couples to this. Here we go.
Well, yeah, that was what generated. What was the crisis? Crisis was very simple. Traditional understandings of ahruf and qira'at cannot answer some of these pressing questions that are now being poked by our people by our academics, by their academics outside of the faith tradition. You see, in a Muslim environment, there's always some respect that we have for the Quran. We should. In a Muslim environment, we'll press a little bit and then we'll say, okay, khalas, sami'na wa ata'na. And that's great, alhamdulillah. When you go to academia, they don't have that red line. And they're going to just, the famous story of the emperor with no clothes. They're going to just point out, no, that doesn't make any sense. Well, that's not true, and this and that. And they'll bring issues, which I'm not going to mention explicitly, that are true because they're in your own books. They're not inventing anything new. They'll bring you riwayat, and they'll bring you athar, and then you add to that very well-known issues of, I don't even want to be explicit. And then you bring on top of that makhtutat, and then. And it's very clear to you and to every single very advanced student and specialist that the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say. The standard narrative.
What did you say?
So basically, what he's saying is the standard narrative when you had people out here, and like I just said before, in the early 2000s, you had people doing dawah. You spoke of a man earlier on called Ahmed Didat. You had the Dr. Zakir Naik. So you had bare people doing dawah, and within their dawah, they would say the Quran is untouched. Like the language they would be using was not the language of the scholars of the past and, you know, the Muslims of the past. So the narrative, what he's talking, because he's a part of that dawah group. When I first I've been Muslim like 16 years now. You know what I'm saying? I'm 32. So I've been exposed to this guy for years. I know what he's talking about I know the language he's talking. So when he's saying the standard narrative is the narrative that Muslims say, oh, the Quran's untouched. We ain't got it's so, we ain't got different one, but we don't, but to a certain context, because we actually haven't got verses where it's different. It's just different in meaning, probably recitation, but the meaning is intact. And academia will say this, you know, if we're talking academics, you know what I mean? So in academia, they'll say this, but what I want to know is, you're talking about the qira'at, but can you name me at least 5 of the qira'at?
You're going off somewhere else. I'm trying to stay focused on something.
I'm trying to stay with you. I'm trying to dance with you.
No, you're not
I'm trying
where
to
I'm
see
at.
if you're with it, or, you know.
No, you're not where I'm at, right?
I'm just wondering.
And I got you, bro, but I'm saying you're not where I'm at. Just try to stay focused for a minute. And we can go there where you want to go in a minute.
I've only got like 5 minutes left, though. I need to keep it moving before 11.
Okay, well, unfortunately, this is more than a 5-minute conversation. Watch this right here. Yeah. Pay attention to this part.
And to understand some of these questions that are being
raised. So is what you're saying the shak that came, or not the shak, but the crisis that you had was in relation to...
Here's the point. These issues should only be discussed amongst people who know what the qira'at are.
What did he just say?
What? Rewind that again, sir. I was just looking out the window.
If I'm hearing correctly, I'm going to even use the comment on the screen. It sounds like he's essentially saying, once you deep dive like an academic, you'll see holes.
Yes, that's exactly what he said. And then he also saying, which is more even important, is this part right here. Please listen.
And to understand some of these questions discussed amongst people, issues should only questions in there.
Morpheus, can you make your point? You know what I mean? Because
oh my God,
I want you to land.
Okay, here we go. Here it goes. Here's the point. Listen closely.
These issues should only be discussed among people who know what the
Stop.
are.
What is he saying? He's saying that these holes that are found, right, in Islam, in the Quran, and qira'at, all these holes, these problems, he's admitted there's a lot of problems academically, and they should only be spoken about in secret.
I don't know about secret, but yeah, I don't think it's for everybody.
I'm not talking about what you're saying. I'm talking about what he's saying. Is that what he's saying or not?
Yeah, it certainly sounds like that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying, remember the first part he said, when you just come in Islam, you're a beginner, you don't know nothing, no knowledge, just be a practitioner and just learn how to recite and blah, 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 blah. When you get advanced, if you go advanced, like what we're talking about and going deeper in, is when all the holes show up. When the holes show up.
So can you demonstrate one of the holes?
I'm not here to demonstrate this yet. Not yet.
Okay. Yo, Zion,
yes.
I genuinely need to keep it moving. But Salaam alaikum, Morpheus. Yo, Zion, peace. Yo, Zion, I've been on your school before, you know, by the way. I've been in the classes silently. But I'll come back in, man. I'll come back in.
I appreciate you, man. If you can, just email me. I'll try to get you on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Shalom. All right, take care. Shalom alaikum.
Peace. Shalom alaikum. So, okay, so to get back to where I was at, What I'm showing you right now, what was my point of bringing this up? And I'm going to show you multiple shapes that agree.
Morpheus, hold on one moment. This is a brother from my classes. He was raised in Islam. He's an Islamic scholar. He can read Arabic fluently, and he also speaks Arabic fluently. His name is Gamliel. Gamliel, jump in really quick.
Gamliel, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So what the brother, what Morpheus is talking about is the narrative of how they arrived at the 7 ahruf and the 10 qira'at. Because the standard narrative is that when the angel Gabriel brought the Quran to Muhammad, he asked him for more modes of recitation so that people in different regions or whatever could, recite it easily. And so this is how they explain, to the masses, this is how we got the 7 ahruf and the 10 qira'at. But the truth of the matter is that's not how we got it. And that's what Yasser Qadi is trying to explain. He's saying that, this is what we tell people, but he's saying that's not true. And when people dive into it, they're going to realize that that's not true. There's a website on the internet. It's all in Arabic, though. And you can go in there and you can see all of the different qira'at.
You're talking about Islam web.net?
I'm not sure if that's one, but it's all in Arabic. The whole website.
It's all in Arabic, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And you can go in there and you can compare. And you can see that these are more than likely, in some cases, scribal errors.
Yes.
Right. These were scribal errors that were never fixed. And so when they were making copies of the Quran and sending it out into different areas, this is how the people learned it. Right. Yes. And it was never changed. So you have, for example, in North Africa, like Morocco, Libya, they'll use the Warsh. Qira'at is popular in North Africa and places like Saudi Arabia and other places like that. They use the Hafs. They use the Hafs. Hafs is the most popular Qira'at in the world. But you do have some places that use the Warsh and another one called Qalun, and there's a few other ones that are a little less popular, right? But some of these differences in the Qira'at actually do change the meanings of the word. It's not just different pronunciation. Some of it that does actually change the meaning. It can affect actual theology as well as laws. Like, for example, in Surah Al-Baqarah, it talks about what to do if you end up breaking your fast, or not fasting in Ramadan. According to the Hafs Qira'at, you have to feed one poor person, a miskin, right? But that's according to the Hafs Qira'ah. Now, if you go to the Warsh, it says masakin, right?
Yeah, yes. Even in that right there, like even in Al-Fatiha, the Warsh, right? There's a difference between Malik and Malik. Right? We refer to a Maliki Deen. There's a difference between those two. One is, is king. One is ruler. One is owner. So depending on, we are 100% with everything that you're saying.
Gamliel, really quick. Gamliel, really quick. Moray, my question for you is, how accurate? I can't challenge what Morpheus is saying, nor am I trying to. I'm just interviewing him on the podcast. But since you're here, since you're here, I think this allows for a very balanced view because there's another person that can weigh in. How accurate is Morpheus's claim that the second surah was actually named Bani Israel?
The Surah 17, the original name was Bani Israel.
Yes.
And what's your opinion as to why there's a transition or change?
I think it's like what he probably hinted at, that they wanted to take the focus away from the children of Israel.
Yes.
Even though a large chunk of that chapter is about the children of Israel, another, part of it is about this night journey.
Yeah.
But that's just like a small chunk of that surah. It's just talking about that night journey, and the large portion.
It's a very small chunk. But Yeah, I agree with I agree with everything this brother's saying. It's like we're not talking different languages right now. You know what I'm saying. So I agree 100%. That's all I'm pointing out. These things is like what's in academia that I noticed maybe in 1999.
So Morpheus, just so you know, Gamliel is currently having a similar experience as you are in realizing certain things about Islam via its theology. I just want to reacclimate you with that fact.
Yeah. My brother. So you said your brother's Muslim for how long? كما أتيت إلى الإسلام. هل تتكلم اللغة العربية؟ هل تتكلم اللغة العربية؟
Yeah, شوية. أتكلم اللغة العربية شوية.
Okay. تشرفنا. Yes, there's a good brother right here. You got on your team, man, or whatever. Yeah, definitely.
Morpheus, he's a beast, man. Let me tell you, he's a beast because he came in already knowing Hebrew. He's here to just kind of refine it a bit, but I think he's kick ass in Hebrew. He's really tough. And
he sounds like a very intelligent brother. But I'm just sharing my journey, right? And saying like, well, these are things that I discovered, you know what I mean? Like in '99 that had me started, looking deeper and questions. So then when I start seeing all of these like Dr. Yasir Qadhi, who I'm showing, and other sheikhs I can show you, who share the same, ideas or what they discovered. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not bugging out. I ain't, I'm not making this up. You know what I mean? But it's some issues that's very difficult. It's very difficult to deal with.
This is in this. Go ahead, Gamliel, jump in.
Yeah, Yasir Qadhi also got into hot water when he talked about the science of Hadith as well.
Oh, yeah. He got into some serious hot water. Yeah. So what he did was actually he stepped down in academia because he couldn't balance, you know what I mean, what he's learning in academia, as he says out of his own mouth. If you finish watching the video, he had to step down because he can't balance what he's learning, you know what I mean, or his practices as a Muslim in the masjid and so forth in academia, because there's problem academic that the tradition, so he's having problems right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it happens, like, and it depends. Like, it's almost like that. That Pandora box. Once you open that Pandora box, you know what I mean?
And what he showed is that there's a lot of things that they talk about that, behind the scenes among themselves, the scholars talk among themselves about certain things that they don't want to talk about in front of the lay people, right? Such as what you brought up, the qira'at.
So let me ask you that. If let's say the population statistically, last I saw, of the Muslim world, right, was like 2 billion, something like that, right? Out of that 2 billion, how many would you say know these, you know what I mean, these these hard things that we're talking about, right? A very small portion, correct?
Very small. Mostly it's just going to be, scholars and people who are diehard, because most Muslims, they're just like you mentioned, they're just practitioners, right?
Yeah.
Either they're raised up in the religion and they're just doing what they learned from their family members, or maybe they converted and they don't know the language. They haven't read like books of fiqh and Aqidah and things like this. They're just kind of like learning the basic things, like how do I pray, how do I fast, and they're just going about their, I would say, especially when it comes to like African Americans or Black people who convert to Islam, most of them are in that category. Very few go on to like learn Arabic and
So when you and I are talking, we going deep down the rabbit hole, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I was young and I decided I wanted to learn Arabic, the community that I was a part of actually tried to discourage me from doing so, because they felt like, oh, well, you're going to come back and you're going to think you're better than us because, and then plus the person who I wanted to study it with, his name's Hamza Yusuf. You know, back then he had a school. He has a big university now, but he had a small school where he was teaching Arabic grammar on the weekends. And when I talked to the Imam, I said, "Yeah, I want to go take these classes." Like, all right, but you know, don't bring back anything else from him. Like they didn't like him, and they didn't like other things that he taught. But yeah, most people, they kind of get, you know, it's just kind of the same thing we see in the Israelite community today.
Yes.
Where, you know, people say, "Oh, you think, you know, you," like they'll try to persuade you, "Oh, nobody knows real Hebrew. Hebrew is dead. We gotta wait till God gathers us," or they'll try to make you feel like, "Oh, well, you think you're better because you learned the language or whatever."
Yeah, man. It's not like that at all. What we try to do, because we sincere in our journey and quest for knowledge and growth. We sincere. We didn't jump in this, man, playing games with it. You know what I mean? At least I know I didn't, and I don't think you did at all. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree. It's just issues like these that I'm pointing out that I'm showing, because I can show stuff that made me say like, "Yo, I got to back up for a minute because I got some serious things that I got to try to reconcile." And a lot of stuff I just couldn't reconcile a lot, to be honest with you, on my personal side, you know?
Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed this too. Tell me if you noticed this. So you already said like only like 25% of Muslims in the world today actually speak Arabic, right? And I agree with that. But then within that 25% of Muslims who speak Arabic, I would say an even smaller percentage actually knows the classical Arabic.
Yeah, good, because when I learned Arabic, I was learning Arabic Fusha, you know, which is classical Fusha, you know. But then over in Sudan, I started seeing other. Okay, because Arabic existed before Islam, right? This is my thought process. Follow me for a second. The language and the people existed before Muhammad, right? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, right? It existed before that. So I started digging back into the history, and I got a lot of books, right? Historical books written by Arab scholars. The history prior to, well, because other words, if you make Ya Muhammad the beginning point, you're already in trouble. If that's your starting point, you know what I mean? It's maybe your starting point to Islam, but it's not the starting point to the Arabic language and the people. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, we even have like, you probably know about like Lisan al-Arab, the dictionary that actually looks at old Arabic poetry to try to figure out what the original meaning of words were.
Yeah. So it goes when you do a deep dive, it goes into like you know, I used to get in arguments with people, right, about stuff about the Quran and between the Quran and the Injil and the Torah, and they would say, well, the Torah is tampered with, right? They're tampered with. And I would ask them, yeah, Quran, Surah al-Baqarah, ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. Correct?
Correct,
yeah. So then what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about? If it's tampered with, why are you saying that this Quran is a guidance to those who believe in what came before it? Right?
Which means that musaddiqan lima bayna yadayhi, which means it's confirming what came before it, which in order for you, it has to agree with it, right?
Yes. But it points you to it. It points you to it by saying that this is a guidance to those who believe in what came before it. So when it said, if you don't believe in what came before it, this can't be a guidance to you.
Right, yeah. That's right.
You know, these are things that people, you know, tug a war with, like, you know.
Since you guys are given a highly scholarly input on this particular topic, I'd be remiss to lose out on such a powerful moment by not asking you guys collectively this one question. when the claim is made by various Muslim theologians or scholars that the Bible is tampered with, and that they say that the lying pen of the scribes, and they use the Quran in some way to reinforce that, how genuine is that based on the Quran?
Not genuine at all. All you gotta do is go to like 568. It says قُلْ يَا أَهْلُ الْكِتَابِ لَسْتُمْ عَلَى شَيْءٍ حَتَّى تُقِيمُوا التَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ وَمَا أُنْزِلَ إِلَيْكُمْ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. Right? The prophet is commanded to say to the people of the book, you stand upon nothing, لَسْتُمْ عَلَى شَيْءٍ حَتَّى تُقِيمُوا, until you establish or uphold the Torah, wal Injil, the gospel, وَمَا أُنْزِلَ إِلَيْكُمْ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ, and what has been revealed to you from your Lord. The Quran is telling you're not doing anything until you do that. Why would God tell us to uphold these books if they're full of lies and if they're corrupted? That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense at all. Exactly.
Morpheus, you in agreement? What's your thoughts, Morpheus?
I told you, me and this brother agree. We agree, man. We agree. You know.
Okay. So let me ask you guys this, because I don't want to beat the Quran up in this moment. I want to learn what it is that the Quran teaches, so that we can have a powerful conversation. So the next question I'm going to ask you guys collectively is close but a little distinct. And this question is the Quran beneficial for the training in morale and righteousness?
I think morale and righteousness is subjective.
I agree. My apologies.
Yeah. So that's kind of I agree. That's my position. That's my position anyway.
Okay. Okay. I do agree with that point, though.
Yeah, it's subjective. So,
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm sorry, big bro. Okay.
So if our standard of morale and righteousness is the Torah, then I would say that the Quran comes, pretty close in a lot of ways, right? It teaches dietary laws. It teaches, justice. Teaches, worshiping one God, right? It teaches, charity. It teaches, basically a lot of the same things, not the full scope of what we find in the Torah. Obviously, like the Torah has a lot more in all of those different areas. But I would say that, let's say for me, as someone who grew up as a Muslim, when I adopted the Torah, it wasn't like I was going from Christianity to the Torah, where I went from not having any laws or things that I follow to like suddenly I have these laws and things. For me, it's like, oh, now I can't eat shrimp and crab, but I was already not eating pork already, right? I was already not eating blood, right? I was already taught a lot of the same things that are in the Torah. It's just I had to learn some additional things that the Torah had that the Quran didn't have. So I would say for someone like me, it actually kind of prepared me for the Torah.
You said it prepared you for the Torah?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what you think about this, right? But tell me what you think about this, right? What's your thought process? Like, you said like in this we have monotheism, right? What is, when you hear the word tawheed, what does that mean?
Oneness.
Okay. Well,
it's basically,
well, would you agree or disagree? From the Arabic lexicon, tawheed actually means unification, to unify.
Yeah, I guess you could say that as well. It means to unify, but it comes from, that's the infinitive verb form of wahada. So wahada would mean to make something one, right?
Right,
so
that would be one, right, because wahid is one in number, like as far as number is concerned, that would be one, right? But Tawheed means to unify, unification. Actually, right now in Saudi Arabia, I think it's called, they have a group there called Tawheed al-Arabia, the unification of Arabia, right? So that word Tawheed means to unify, unification. So I started to ask myself, well, if Allah is one, then what's being unified? You feel me? Like, what's being unified? Because in order to unify something, you have to have more than one thing to unify.
On that topic, on that point, Mr. Morpheus and Mori Gamliel, a lot of people who have no experience with the Quran, but have a little bit of hearsay for what the Quran has to teach. The thing that perplexes us, I'm going to put myself in that perspective too, is when the Quran speaks in the we. Could you guys explain the we of the Quran as a personification of the deity?
Yeah. So the way that this is explained is that you do see the term we and us used quite a bit in the Quran, but never in the sense that there's multiple gods. It more aligns with agency. So, for example, you'll never find a passage in the Quran where it says, worship us, right? But you will find something that says, we destroyed them, like talking about a nation that got destroyed.
Or we gave to you. We gave you the Injil. We gave you the Torah. Right.
Yeah,
right.
But see, my only issue with that, I agree with you, right? That's if you're in Islamic theology. That's why I'm bringing up the language before Islam. These words have different meanings. They're taking on different meanings, right? Prior or pre or proto-Islam, right? That now have different meanings in Islam. Like I gave an example, the word Tawheed. Now, today, as a Muslim, if I read today, Tawheed, my understanding is what you said, oneness, right? Be one. But in the actual Arabic language, it means to unify.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah. So it depends on, I guess, the morphology and what part of you talking about, like ahad, that word, ahad. Say he Allah is one. Now I know in Arabic, wahid is one. So if he wanted to say or make a statement and say Allah is one, it would have said qul huwa Allahu wahid, not qul huwa Allahu ahad, because the word ahad means one of. It's used 70 times in the Quran, and every time you see that word ahad, it means one of.
Yeah, like ahminhum, one of them.
Right. Ahidun, right. But every time you see it, so it's some things that I myself wrestle with as far as language, because I'm looking at linguistically, prior Islam, you know what I mean, and Islam. So we have some things happening here, in what words or what I mean, meaning, and it depends almost like where you speaking from. It's like it's not wrong and it's not right, but it depends on where you speak from. Because I know a lot of native Arabic speaking people who read certain things in the Quran and say, that don't mean that. That don't mean that. But within the theology of Islam, it means that. You follow me? But within the language itself, it don't mean that. So it's
I agree with you. I agree with you, yeah.
So it's like, how do you... Yeah. So I used to be stuck with, well, how do you reconcile that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. But I agree, man. I agree with 99% of everything you say.
I mean, I think our journeys are very similar. I was listening. I mean, I didn't grow up with Nuwabians. I was Sunni, and then I was Sunni for like the first 8 years, and then I became Shia. And I went to Iran, and I spent many years as a Shia. So I have a good understanding of both Sunni and Shia Islam.
Yeah.
So, but you know, and I studied the language. So yeah, I think, you know, you're correct. Like once you get past the translation and you go into the Arabic, you start to see, wait a minute, the Arabic is not saying what the translation is saying.
Yeah. And you know what, bro? And I used to question that, right? And I used to say, why are they doing this? But guess what I found out? I found out that people like Yusuf Ali and them
didn't even know Arabic.
Right, they were Persians.
Yeah, Yusuf Ali didn't even know Arabic.
They didn't know Arabic. So I started saying the same thing you said. I said, hold on, wait a minute. We're getting our translations from people who don't even know Arabic. And it's like, holy shit, excuse my language. Like, yo, what the, you know what I mean? Like, wow, this is interesting. Yeah. And I really had to like step back, man. I had to step back and say, okay, I got to really be careful, you know what I mean? And go through this thing with a fine tooth. Now, and it made me ask some hard questions. One of the questions, right, was after seeing all this here stuff, although after seeing translators lying, right, mistranslating stuff, I said there got to be an agenda, right? Because if you know what I mean, if you know that doesn't mean that, why would you do that, right? So I started thinking about, you know, the agenda that a lot of these people have, right? And then I started saying, hold up here. Is Islam really for the black man and woman? This is a question that I ask, right? But let me tell you why I asked that question. I'm sorry. I'm sharing something. I thought I was. Anyway, I'm sorry, brother. Let me take this down. Excuse me. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'm talking about
yeah, Zion's still there too.
Zion's still there?
Yes,
okay.
I don't know why my microphone is not coming on, but Mr. Morpheus, what you wanted to share is on the screen. Go ahead.
Okay, it's on the screen. I'm sorry. Where I'm at? No, not that. Where I'm at. This right here. So I got like 3 screens up, so it's hard for me to
take your time. You know what I think this is an incredible conversation, by the way. I'm a listener and I'm a learner.
All right, so this right here, perfect example, is one of the issues that I personally had, right? Let me take down this because I got 2 screens up. Okay, cool. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm in Surah Ibrahim, chapter 14, verse Quran. I'm in 14:4 of the Quran, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make sure you're with me because I'm all over the place. Now you see this verse right here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I got showing.
Well, it says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ.
Right. So watch this. So I started thinking, when it says here, right, about we have not sent a messenger except speaking the language of his people, right? To state clearly for them or be clear to them. So this verse here is telling me, okay, I'm identifying stop. We have not sent any messenger. Okay, cool. Who's the messenger? The messenger is Nabi Muhammad, right? Okay, that's the messenger. Except speaking in the language of his people. Who is his people? Arabs. Okay, so we got messenger, who's an Arab, speaking the language of his people, which is Arabic, right? We have a book called Quran, which is clearly Arabic, in a Arabic region geographically, right? So that identifies to me who this is for. Because I was saying to myself, well, who is this for? It's for the Arab people. It ain't got anything to do with me, with the black man, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, because I'm going, what he's saying, I sent a messenger to his people speaking the language of his people, right? So then who am I supposed to say, who am I to say now at this point? Well, who is this for?
Oh, well, let me weigh in and ask this question and then jump in, Maury Gamliel. My question is, when I think of Islam, especially from the vantage point of the proponents of Islam, people who teach it and practice it, right? I hear them say almost unanimously that Islam is a universal so-called religion. And so I want you, if you can, Mr. Morpheus, to just give us context when you say that. When you actually examine the Quran itself, it makes it clear, and I'm just paraphrasing what you're saying, it makes it clear that the message given to Muhammad was for his people and not necessarily for the entire world. And from my point of view, I was always taught Islam is a universal religion that is meant for the entire world. So before you do that, Mr. Morpheus, Maury Gamliel, weigh in, and then I want to hear what Mr. Morpheus has to say.
So this is a good verse, but I could see some pushback against it, because the Quran never says that it was sent only for the Arabs. It says that it's sent for the ummiyun, right? And the ummiyun, one way that they translate that word is Gentiles, right? And you'll commonly find the word ummi contrasted with Ahlul Kitab. So you have Ahlul Kitab, and one which is people of the book, the Israelites, and you have everybody else is in this Ummiyun camp, right? And so this is the clearest language that the Quran says that it came down for, was the people who were not among the children of Israel, who did not have a scripture, right? And there's a clear verse that says, and we sent it down lest you say that the book was only sent down to two groups before us and we were unaware of their study. So it's specifically targeting the people who are not Ahlul Kitab, right? And there's several verses in the Quran where it says, that he was sent from among the Ummiyun a messenger from among themselves. Ba'atha min al-Ummiyun Rasulin minhum. Fil Ummiyun Rasulin minhum. Sent a messenger among them from among themselves. Min anfusihim. I think there's at least two verses that have that type of wording, right? So, Ummi could be the Arab. It could be a guy in Persia. It could be an Indian person. All of these people who are not part of the Ahlul Kitab would be considered Ummiyun.
Okay. If the argument that one could argue against that is, one, when you're dealing with the Quran, you're talking over a 23-year period, correct? It's not just like one thing and blah 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 blah, right? So if I'm to look at Surah Al-Tawbah, right, where we just clearly said that we have not sent to every people but a messenger of them speaking their language, right? What is the language? The language is Arabic, right? We know that, right? We know that that's the language. So then what people speak Arabic?
Well, here's the thing, right? Yeah, no, you're right. But with the Sudanese, are they considered Arabs?
No, they're not actually.
Well, I think they consider themselves.
But then again, Arabs. You know what? It depends on who you talk to. Let's say that.
Yeah,
right?
if you're in northern Sudan, they consider themselves Arabs. They consider themselves part of the Arab world. If you're in the south, like these are more Nubian type people, they don't consider themselves Arabs.
Right. And I was involved with the Nubian side. I was involved. I can only speak for that. My experience being with the Nubian side of Sudan, being in Omdurman and Khartoum and all these. Right? No, they don't consider themselves Arabs at all.
Yeah.
So that's why I said. That's why I said it depends. I guess it depends who you're talking to. You know what I mean?
Right. So Arab. Okay. So there's a common misconception that Arab is like a race or something like that.
It's a wanderer. Means like a wanderer.
Well, it originally meant somebody from Arabia, and the word Arab means mixed, right? It's
But they were really like nomads, basically.
Well, some of them were, right? But the point is, if you lived in Arabia, whether you come from Ethiopian stock, whether you come from like some other Ishmaelite stock, you were considered an Arab, right? All Arabs do not come from Ishmael, right? Ishmaelites are Arabs, but not all Arabs are Ishmaelites, right?
Isn't that interesting?
Arabia used to actually be dominated by Ethiopians, by Cushites for the longest time. Right? So Arabs have never been like a distinct people in terms of like lineage. What bonded them together was language and culture. So if you spoke Arabic and you practice Arabic culture, you're considered an Arab. It's like
you know what? That would be a real deep conversation for us to identify, you know what I mean, what an Arab actually is. I think that would be, you know what I mean? That would be really good to go in depth into that, because like you said, because most people, when they think of Arab, they think of, people from Saudi Arabia or blah, blah. So what are we talking about when we say Arab? Is it an ethnic group? Is it, you know what I mean? But that's a good point. That's a good point.
Like you would probably say that the people of Iraq are Arabs, right? But a lot of the people in Iraq are Persians. They come from Persian stuff, right? A lot of the Arabs in Saudi Arabia are Turkish.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So it's kind of ambiguous. Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're Arabs because they speak Arabic and they have the culture. But a lot of the Arabs that you see in Arabia today are not the Arabs that were there 1,400 years ago. Those guys are mostly gone.
Well, right? Well, my argument, right, when I was saying, when I brought that verse up, right, because we know the region and we know the people in that region, right, when I read about Allah sending a messenger or speaking the language of his people, then I got to identify, well, who's his people, right? And then what is the language? Cool. What is the geographical region? So now we know what the region is, right? We know what the region is. We know who the people in that region is, right? And we know that whole thing, who Muhammad was. So I was asking a question, and I said, I don't think it's for African Americans based on what the Quran says, not what I say, because it identifies who he was sent to, what is the language of the people he was sent to, and what is that region. And I have to say, that's Arabia. You understand what I'm saying?
But then, there's a verse. It says, "Ya bani Adama." What is it? O children of Adam, when my messengers come to you, reciting my verses to you, whoever heeds, whoever feared, and does righteous, no fear shall be upon him, and so on and so forth. Right. So it speaks about that message being taken out to the sons of Adam, to the children of Adam.
Okay, right.
So then that would mean from the Quranic standpoint, the Quran sees Arabia as the starting point, and then from there it would spread outward to the rest of the children of Adam. Now, as far as what you said about African Americans, I mean, that's kind of a anachronism because there was no African American back then, right? Back then, somebody who looked just like you or me could have been living. Matter of fact, a lot of the people of Arabia back then looked like me and you.
Those are some very heavy points.
I didn't hear the last part. He cut off.
What I said was, you said, it wasn't meant for the African Americans, and that's more of an anachronism because there was no such thing as an African American back then. But what I will say is that many of the people of Arabia back then looked like me and you, right? The second Khalifa, Umar ibn al-Khattab, he was from Ethiopian stock. He's the second Khalifa.
Right.
The descendants of Muhammad who are buried in Iran, Imam Reza and his sister Fatima Masuma, they were black. They were jet black. And these are descendants of the Prophet Muhammad.
So
okay. He had family members that were black. He had descendants that were black.
Okay, so then let me ask you this then. Are you familiar with the Hadith? There's a Hadith, Mr. Sahi, actually on. Remember, I was asking about the website Islamweb.net, where it's all in Arabic, where they basically said, if you call Muhammad black, you be killed.
You know, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the Hadith, right? The Hadith were compiled at the earliest 90 to 100 years after the death of the Prophet. 90 to 100 years after that, right? That's the earliest. That's the earliest compilation of Hadith you're gonna find, and that's from that's Imam Malik's Muwatta, right? Now, when you start going into like the Bukharis and stuff, now you're talking about 200 to 250 years.
I agree. I know. I agree with you. You know what's so funny? I don't disagree with anything you're saying, right? But I think what happened with I guess a lot of times I'm speaking from the narrative. Remember what he was talking about? What's the narrative that is, you know, what the majority of Muslims believe, right? Where you're more advanced and I'm more advanced, so we're speaking from a, you know what I mean? A different not that we're better than anybody, don't get me wrong, but we're way down the rabbit hole. But the point the point I'm making is like I said, if it's 2-point-something billion, that means the majority of the world, the Muslim world, is following the narrative. They're not following what you and I are talking about. They're following the narrative, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm talking about is this is the type of stuff that's the narrative that they're following. This right here, stuff like this. Thank you for coming on, bro. This is a good conversation.
Yeah, it's good. It's been good.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. There's statements, right? Things that's floating around in the Islamic world, right? That says stuff like this by Ahmed ibn Abi Sulaiman, the companion of Sanun, said, anyone who said the Prophet was black should be killed. Right?
Now, why would somebody say that? Why would somebody say he's black unless people believe that that's what he was?
Right. Well, it could be argued because some people could say that, you know, they in Islam they attribute like black, like, you know, those who are condemned or to have a black face. You know what I mean? So I've heard that argument. I've heard that apologetic. You know what I mean? Well, that's what they mean. But nonetheless, what's
you guys are both practitioners, and I apologize because apart from interviewing Morpheus and also having you weigh in, Morey Gamliel, I also want to try to represent what some of the people are thinking in the comment section, the audience and people watching on YouTube. So I just want to ask you guys something. Since we're talking about race and how race is injected into later texts such as the Hadith, which comes to explain the Quran, and many of those Hadith may be either in error or just blatantly wrong. My question for you guys as practitioners once in Islam is there a measurable degree of racism that exists in Islam against people of color? And if so, are those people using the Quran to validate it?
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah. You go first. You go first, fam. Okay.
All right. So I wouldn't say that there's racism in Islam, per se, because like, you know, for the like 30-some years that I was in Islam, I didn't experience any racism like from other like Arab, you know, Muslims like using the Quran to say something bad about black people. But is there racism among Muslims? Oh, of course. Yes, there is racism among Muslims, but not because of something that the Quran says or anything like that. It's just they're just racist, right? So I mean, I've been to I grew up with Arabs. I grew up with like Pakistani, Afghan. Had a ton of Afghan friends growing up. I've been to Iran. In Iran, I was treated very well in Iran, right? I don't know. Maybe it could have been because I was an American. But as far as like me hearing something like somebody quote a hadith that's negative against black people or a verse, no, I never. Me personally, I've never experienced that.
So let me ask this question. Let me help. Can I chime in on that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Think about this. Remember I said I'm talking about the narrative, correct?
And by the way, Gamliel, Mr. Morpheus has traveled in Sudan and actually learned and studied there as well. My apologies.
Yeah. I did mention that. But I'll share my screen. So remember, I'm referring to the 90% of the Islamic world who's following a particular narrative. So let's say you have not learned an advanced person like yourself, right, in Islam. So the average Muslim is reading this when he goes to Hadith, right? The grade is Asnat Hassan, which means it's good, right? Cool. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Your screen is up.
Yeah, so what happens psychologically, watch this now, when a person who's a Muslim reads Abu Dawud reported Allah's messenger is saying God or Allah created Adam. Now pay attention. When he created him and struck his right shoulder, I know you know this, bro, but it was right shoulder, he brought forth his offspring, white, like small ants. So when he hit him on the right side, his offspring was white, right? Like small ants, right? Meaning that's how many in number, right? But when he struck his left shoulder and brought forth the offspring, they were black, as though they were charcoal. So we have two offsprings that supposedly came from Adam, one from the right shoulder, one from the left shoulder. The ones that came from the right shoulder are white. The ones that came from the left shoulder are black. But these are the offsprings, correct?
Uh-huh.
Then he said to the party on the right side, which is the white side, to paradise. So the right side, the white ones are going to paradise. And I do not care. And he said to the party on the left shoulder, you go to hell. And I don't care. So in reading this, and we say, okay, we got Adam, we got offspring on the right side, left side. Right side is white people, or the white, excuse me, which are black offsprings, they designated for hell, right?
Yeah.
So, Zion.
Yes.
What would you get from this if you read this? Imagine, you're not advanced. You're just reading hadiths and you're reading so-and-so. What would you get from that?
Then he said to the one on the right side, let me just blow it up, guys, on my screen. And then he said to the one party on the right side, to paradise, and I do not care. And he said to the party on his left shoulder, to hell, and I do not care. God created Adam when he created him, and it struck his right shoulder and brought forth his offspring while small like ants. And he struck his left shoulder and brought forth his offspring.
No, you missed the white part. Like the brought forth his offspring.
Okay, my fault. God created Adam when he created him and struck his right shoulder and brought forth his offspring white like small ants. And he struck his left shoulder and brought forth his offspring black as though they were charcoal.
So the right side, which is the white offspring, they go to paradise, correct?
That's what it says.
The left side, which is black, they go to hell.
Oh man.
Am I right or wrong?
That's what it says. Yeah, that's what it's, at least based on what we're looking at. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I'm saying, if the average Muslim, right, are reading these types of information, because there's a lot of it like this that has these innuendos or so and so that speaks down against, you know what I mean, the black side and the white side, and hadiths that say Muhammad's thighs was white his underarm pitch was white, right? You know what I mean? There's stuff like this, and he wasn't black. And then we read these other hadiths where I just showed you that said if you say Muhammad is black, you have to be killed because you can't say he was black. So, I can show you others, but it's stuff like that. To answer the question, like when I travel, I did come across racism in the Muslim world. I absolutely did, and I know a lot of Muslims did. You may not have experienced that, right? And you know what I mean?
No. So what I said was that because he asked a specific question, do I feel like I experienced racism in Islam? Meaning like somebody came with a verse or a hadith or something saying something negative and saying you're inferior because the Quran says so, or because
no, not out direct like that. Absolutely not. No.
Yeah, but in terms of just Muslims, yeah, you will. You go anywhere, you're gonna experience racism. But here, I wanted to show you something, because here's the thing about the hadith. A lot of the hadith is propaganda. You know that, I know that, right?
Yes, right.
Especially when you look at the history of the Umayyad Empire, the Abbasid Empire, they cut these two caliphates, used hadith to push their agendas, right? So they had people who could fabricate hadith to push and even the Shia also have that same thing as well, right? Where they fabricate hadith to push their agendas, right? So the thing is, ask yourself this: if the Prophet himself had family members who were black, would he say that black people go to hell? Obviously not. Like I'll read this one hadith to you, right? And it says, Ali ibn Abi Talib. This is on Sabal Ashraf chapter 2, page 868 by al-Baladari. It says, Ali ibn Abi Talib as Adam Shadid al-Udma. This is how he's described. Adam, his complexion is Adam. Shadid al-Udma, right? It says another narration in the same book states that Ali ibn Abi Talib was a lighter hue of black. This is the Prophet's cousin. This is the one who married Muhammad's daughter. Right? And he's the fourth Khalifa. He's described as being like a lighter, like a brown complexion person like me. Right?
Right.
Umar ibn al-Khattab is also from Ethiopian descent. Right? Somebody posted here, and Muhammad is described as asmar, deep brown with black. So most of the Arabs back then looked like us. The three people who are sitting here on this panel, we look like how the Arabs look. So, what would make them come up with hadith that would say that? Is other than a later group came in, had power, and wanted to make themselves feel superior.
The same thing happens the same thing happens. My apologies, Morey Gamliel. The same thing happens in the Talmud. During the period of the writings of the Talmud, the people writing the Talmud are the people of the book. They are a people of color. It doesn't come until much after these men are long gone that Europeans now pick up the Bible, pick up the Torah, and then pick up the oral tradition, and they're now in control of editing these works. They have edited it in a way that skews the original hue and color of the writers, and they have injected racism in there. I literally just went over this with a group of Israelites last night called Genesis, showing them that in the actual Talmud, you can literally see where later European Jews injected racist lies into there. But the easy way to spot it is to read what the Hebrew says, because what the European Jews have injected is in the English translation. So the easiest way to know what was originally said is to see what the Hebrew says. And the Hebrew never agrees with the racist things the Europeans add in English. So we're saying the same thing, but from the vantage point of the Hadith versus the Talmud, which, by the way, they act in the same way.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that? The same people who did that are the same people who did that in with the Bible and with the Talmud and things like that are the same people who did it in Islam. It's Japheth.
It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So we see
It's the same people. It's literally the same people.
Yeah, we see the same thing happening again. We see the same thing happening again. Yeah. I saw Hadith book, right, that I got on islamicweb.net that says the Hadith is the authority of the Quran. You heard me?
Say that again.
I said I could show you that they got Hadith writings, right? Or like you can find it on islamweb.net, right? That says the Hadith is more important than the Quran. It's over the Quran. So the point that I'm addressing is the stuff that's floating around that the average Muslim are looking at and reading. Not what you just brought up was good, but they're not that deep they're not that deep down the rabbit hole to be able to uncover it, to uncover these things that you found. You know what I mean? They're not educated. They like I said, they just practitioners. They just want the basic. I make my 5 salats a day. I fast in Ramadan. They just the basic. Now, where you at?
Well, you know what's crazy is that if you go to Iran, right, they actually have, they have the whole 12 Imams, right?
Right.
And these are descendants of Prophet Muhammad, right? And they'll have pictures. They'll have, pictures of them, like how they, they draw how they want them to look, and they all, of course, they make them all look Persian, right? So you'll see a picture of Imam Riza, who's the 9th Imam, who's buried in Iran, in Mashhad, and they have him looking like a Persian, as when they draw him, when they do the artwork. But then you'll read in the Hadith how he looked, and he was jet black.
Yeah, but then you got the other side that says, "Don't you dare say he was African or black. We'll kill you for that."
His mother was African. Like you see what I'm saying? His mother was African, right? So that's the thing. These people have, just the same way as you see that they did with the Talmud and the Torah, that they changed the images of the people who are the original people of the book. They did the same thing. Those same people did the same thing in Islam, and like you said, most people, they don't read. They don't really go too deep into things. They just accept what they're told. And so, now you have, the situation that you have now, where you have a large chunk of the people of Saudi Arabia are actually Turks. They're not the original Arabs that were there before. The original Arabs got pushed out.
If there's a region in the world today, and I'm saying this from the sense of not being in the know, but I'm just curious. If there's a region in the world today that's regarded as being the scholastic foundation of Quranic learning, where is that? For instance, the scholastic foundation of biblical learning, people would say, is the land of Israel. People would be more specific. Some would say Jerusalem. Some would refer to a region called Safed. My question for you guys is on the same line. If there's a region in the world that can be considered the scholastic foundation of Quranic learning, what region is that, and what are the implications of that?
For my position is none.
Okay.
And let me tell you why I say that. Let me qualify that, right? The reason why I say that in my position, I take none, because I don't trust them, right? After reading so many lies by different tafsirs, different tafsir, Al-Qurtubi, Jalalain, and so, you know what I mean? And all these translations that are clearly straight out lying. And I'm going, that doesn't say that. I don't trust them. You know what I mean? So I take the position that I just study on my own. You know what I mean? I study on my own, and I look at stuff and I draw my own conclusion. But looking at it as an authority, I don't trust them, bro. You know what I mean?
So what I would say is, even though don't agree with what is being taught, I would say that as far as where is the place that I would say that people go to get like the scholastic learning. It kind of depends, but like for example, it depends on if they are Sunni or Shia for one. If they're Shia, they're gonna go to Iran or they're gonna go to Iraq, right?
Right.
If they're Sunni, it depends on if they are Salafi. If they're Salafi, they're gonna go to Saudi Arabia.
Right.
But if they follow like Shafi'i, it used to be that they would go to Syria, or they would go to Yemen, or they'll go to even Egypt, right, for a Shafi'i. If they're Maliki, then they're definitely gonna go to North Africa, like Mauritania, Morocco, places like that. So it really just depends on which Muslims we're talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Actually, no, man, you got a good brother here, bro.
He's a beast, man. I've been trying to set up an interview, and we are gonna set up an interview, a podcast interview, one-on-one with him. He can go in the Bible. He can obviously go in the Quran. He's a very, very special and gifted brother, man. I love him dearly. Very, very good brother.
So, but what's crazy is, right? What's crazy is this right here, right? Like a lot of times, I address things from a position is like, what is the accepted or the majority of the people, or what are they, being exposed to? Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to shape and mold. You follow these people's minds and mentalities. What are they reading? What do they have access to? Because out of that number, you're supposed to say less than 0.003% of 2 billion people really know, what you're talking about, what I'm talking about. Out of 2 billion, only 0.3%, right? So at that point, it's almost like we don't really matter. You know what I mean? Or we're such a small degree, but the majority that's following the like you said, the narrative, those are the ones that we're going to be concerned with. Those people.
That's true.
That's the scary part. You feel me? That's the scary part. Because those are the radicals, right? Those are the radicals. Watch this real quick, right? You see my screen?
Yes.
Oh, you do? Hold on, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Watch this real quick, right? Watch this. Yeah. Look at this. So because today we got everybody can get on on the computer, do their own research, they can read, blah, 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 right?
Just want to remind you of time, Morpheus. We kind of over, and that's okay because I'm really enjoying the conversation. But we have about 13 minutes, not 13, we have 23 minutes left.
Wrap this up real quick. I'm going to wrap this up. Got you. Cool. Watch this. So you see this right here?
Yes.
On Islam Web, right, where a lot of Muslims will go to look up stuff, clarifies that the Quran is the supreme primary stuff of Islam, right? Watch this, though. The Hadith, the Sunnah, holds a critical role that can be described of having authority over the Quran in specific functions, right? So
do you know who started that? Imam Shafi was the one who was the first one to put Hadith and the Quran on equal footing. Prior to that, you had
but now they're not even on equal footing. They saying the Hadith is authority over the Quran.
Yes, that's true. Because there were times where I would tell somebody something like from the Quran, and they'd be like, "Yeah, but this Hadith says this."
You see what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah, so you see, it's like what I'm talking about. I'm like, yo, do y'all really realize what's going on here right now? You know what I mean? So the world, or the majority of the Muslim world, rather, are under this. They're under this. But watch this now. In this right here, I'm close off with this one, brother Zion Lexx. This is the mentality. This right here is the mentality. You see my screen?
Yes, yes.
This is the mentality. This is the mentality of these people. I want you to hear this.
When Muslims go and conquer the adjacent country, what do? We kill them all? No. The Prophet says, the first thing you do is call them to Islam. If they refuse, then tell them Allah obliged upon you to pay taxation. In return, when enemy comes and attack your country, you don't fight. We Muslims protect you. Subhanallah, for this little money? Yes. And you enjoy sitting in your homes and in your country and live your life normally. But the ruling is for Sharia. So you do not open nightclubs, you do not fornicate. If they refuse, then we have to fight. And if we fight you, then we capture you, you become our slaves, and we take your land, and you take because you refuse. I give you two good options in the coming 40, 50 years when the Muslims become strong as they're supposed to be. When Muslims go.
So you see this mentality?
Mm-hmm. And that contradicts la ikraha fi din, right?
Yeah.
There's no compulsion in religion. It contradicts lakum dinakum waliya din, to you be your religion and to me be mine, right? It contradicts that, right? These are things that came way later, right?
Yeah,
For example,
but what happens is I'm showing you the mentality, right?
No, you're spot on. You're right. No, yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
Yeah,
I just wanted to show you.
Because I'm going, wow, because you're right. Because in one breath it says this, but the people, the Arabs, those people, their mentality is, yo, we're going to enslave you. We're going to enslave you. The next 50 years, our agenda is to enslave. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the word? Aslam Teslam. Get down or lay down. You know?
Yeah, that's
am I right? Yeah, man. But yo, bro, it's good. Yo, we gotta talk more, bro. I like building with you, bro. Yeah,
man. You know, maybe Zion can shoot you my email. I think you have my email, right, Zion? You can slide it over to him, and we can correspond.
Absolutely.
My apologies. My mic was muted. I can definitely do that. I'll definitely connect you guys.
Thank you, man.
I would actually love you guys to join on together on a future show. Morpheus, we have to have you come back on because, you know, some of your time was taken up by just having guests join in. It turned out to be an amazing and incredible show, but I want to make sure you get a full show as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to have you back. I want to say thank you, Mr. Morpheus, for the show, the lecture, the presentation, the conversation. I want to also say thank you, good brother Morey Gamliel. You never disappoint. You never fail, brother. Your work speaks for itself. This is what we do, man. I mean, I want to be clear to people. Zion Lexx TV is certainly a Israelite-based platform, but I'm about community, and I'm about awareness, and I'm about truth, and I'm about seeing how people get to the next stage. What I intend to do is bring together all of the great minds in our community, no matter what their way of life is, no matter what their walk in life is, no matter where their journey is, but just build and have a think tank. We want to listen to learn, not listen to smash, not listen to disagree, but first listen to learn. In building in that way, we always going to have differences, but each conversation gets us closer to understanding the views of one another greater. That's what this should be. That's what the conscious community should consist of. It shouldn't be Ringling Brothers and Barney Bailey Circus. It shouldn't be a circus show, right? I'm an Israelite. You guys have come from Islam, right? Look how we're able to have an amazing dialogue and conversation, and nobody's stupid because I don't follow that or that's dumb. When nobody's doing that, that's not intellectual. Like when you actually have a brain, and better yet, you actually start to use it, that's not your modus operandi, that when you encounter something that you disagree with, that now you need to be negative. That's the mark of lower intelligence. That's not the mark of high intelligence. So I'm trying to take my platform and bring on some of the greatest minds in the community and engage in conversations that can create genuine impact and move the community in the next direction.
That's right. You're right. I appreciate that. Oh, hold up. And before you go, can I share something with you that's gonna make you laugh?
Yes, yes.
Share my screen real quick.
Okay. Yo, I see you. I see you.
The force and peace.
Yo, small, brother. And look at Mark. I see Mark.
Yeah. Watch this. Is that how to watch this? Watch this. I said he gonna get a kick out of this one. Watch this. Watch this. Hold on. Wait. I said he gonna get a kick out of this one. And so watch this, bro. Where we at? Watch this. You saw that one. I'm gonna take you back, give you a little bit of history you can laugh at. All right, watch this. You're gonna be, yo, I got some memories right here. Here we go. You see this one? Remember this poster?
Oh my, yo. Wow, that is you. Yo. All right, good brother. All right. Man, listen, man, if there's anybody here that was born in the 70s, maybe even some of y'all the early 80s and certainly the 60s, ain't no way in hell you telling me you don't know who Force MDs is. Tender Love. Love is a house. You got the key. Don't get me started. Yeah, man. Mercury had a really younger brother that lived on the island. We call him Dancing Mo.
Yeah, Mo, my man. Yeah, Mo's my dude.
Brother Law, you know Brother Law that be on Sonetta show, right?
I know Brother Law for almost 40 years.
We all from the same hood on the island, Staten Island.
That's right.
I know Brother Law way back. I'm talking about in the 90s. He knows my older brother.
Okay.
So yeah, we all from the same hood. So we came up knowing people like Merck.
Yep.
Yeah, we came up knowing them, man. There you go, right there.
There you go. That's my dude.
Yeah. I can't wait to have him on, Brother Law. I gotta have you on soon, man. Let's connect, brother. Let's connect.
Yo, man, but this was good though, man. We got to keep this going, man. These type of conversations, man, that's on a higher frequency. You know what I mean? Where we just building and sharing, man, and because at the end of the day, it's about our people, man. It's about us. You know what I mean? Our people, man.
Let me give y'all a story. Let me give y'all a story about Brother Law. True story. He gonna laugh. He gonna be like, "Damn, Zion, you really went there, huh?" I had an argument with a Spanish dude. You know, you being young in high school, you arguing, right? And he must have felt intimidated because I'm a little older. So he went and told his older brother, another. I think they like Puerto Rican, and at the end of the school day, we in high school. Brother Law's in the high school too. Brother Law's probably gonna start laughing when he realized what story I'm talking about. They swing on me. They literally try to jump me. So I'm crashing out now. I'm fighting both brothers, and I see more people crossing the street. So at that point, I'm going to pick up a bottle. Brother Law picks me up, puts me in a bear hug, and holds me in the air and was like, "Nah, you're not doing all that." So when I tell you I know Brother Law, I know Brother Law, and he's here right now to tell you if I ain't speaking nothing but the absolute fact and truth.
That's one of the best genuine brothers, man, that I know is Brother Law, man. I can vouch for that. You know what I mean? But but I spoke to Mo last week, man. You know,
Mo is dope, man. Mo almost took me and a brother named Qasim, because I used to dance, right? When I say dance, you got to clarify that on the internet. What you mean dance, Zion? I really dance like club dancing, right? But mostly dance hall reggae. So Dancing Mo tried to take us on tour with a couple artists, man. Like we did some stuff. We did some stuff locally, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's cool, man. Yeah, but I enjoyed this, man, this bill right here, man. And I like the direction that you're going. Like I said, I'm waiting for you to send me that link so I can start taking some of these Hebrew classes.
Oh, I can't wait to have you in, because I can hear that you're a beast in Arabic, and I don't even have to ask my good brother Morey Gamliel. I'm sure he's in agreement. I can hear that you really know your Arabic, so I know.
Yeah. Yo, I forgot, Zah, I forgot so much. I just started getting back into this thing like 5 years ago. But let me tell you, my children, their first language was Arabic, man. They didn't learn English until they was like maybe 6 or 7. Right? Yeah. But when I kind of stepped back, man, I forgot. I just wanted to forget that part of my life. You know what I mean? Because of what I went through. But then what happened? I turned around and started coming back in and said, okay. Let me, you know what I mean? Let me try to, like you said, like I gave you the story about the elephant, right? You got it?
Yes. Powerful story. Yes, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a powerful story. So I just started, trying to dig in because I saw a use, right? If I could share some of my experiences, because me, at the end of the day, I don't tell people what to believe. I do not do that. That's not my theology. No. I just say, hey, if someone asks me, I present, this is what this, so do what you want to do with it, whatever. And I just try to be as honest as I possibly can as far as, my research, whatever,
Oh yeah. But I look forward to having you on, Morpheus. Thank you for bringing the show to Zion Lexx TV. It's been a powerful moment. Thank you again, Morey Gamliel. If I didn't have to go, man, I would gladly stay here another 2-3 hours with you, brothers. This has been an incredible show. I think that we put on for the community in this moment, and all I could say is we got to do it again, brothers.
Absolutely. My brother,
right, Morpheus, is on you to close the show. But before you do that, Gamliel, also Morey Gamliel, and put some respect on your name. Morey Gamliel, can you give us some closing thoughts as well to surmise what your thoughts on what we're doing here?
Yes, I thought what the brother brought out was on point. It really matched what I experienced and observed as well. That basically what people call Islam today has deviated quite a bit from its origins, its roots. And even if you were to study and learn, okay, well, this is what the Quran really says, this is what these books really say, it doesn't matter, because the vast majority of the people go according to the narrative. They don't really go according to the book. They don't really go according to the Quran, right? So I agree with practically everything that the brother said, and I can vouch for what he's saying. This is something that even me and my Muslim friends talk about, and they even say this, and they're still in Islam right now, and they say the same things, that people nobody's following the Quran anymore, it's and it doesn't matter what you show them. They just, well, that's not what my sheikh said. That's not what my
right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I thought it was great, man. I can't wait for him to come back on and finish the rest of his presentation, and hopefully we can correspond on the back end.
All right, excellent, man. Thank you again, Morey Gamliel. Have a great day, and I'll take care. All right.
Shalom.
Shalom alaikum, brother.
Salam alaikum. All right, brother Morpheus, it's on you, brother. Excellent show, incredible show, brother. Coming in, I knew the show was going to be a good show. I didn't know it was going to be an epic show. I didn't know it was going to be a great show. But I should have, knowing your caliber, I should not have expected anything less than greatness. Thank you very much, good brother. I thoroughly enjoyed the show.
Yeah, man. And when you got a good show, when you don't realize how long you've been on.
Right? That part.
Right. That part. Because the conversation is just a beautiful conversation. And it's just, wow. It's like, what you called it before, organic. Very organic. You know what I mean? And we just flowing, man. And you brought a good brother on, man. It's a good brother. I like to talk to him more and get to know him. But he's on point, man. He's definitely on point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we disagreed or anything, really, for the most part. Right? But
and if you did, I'm sure that still would have been a great thing, because you brothers are so insightful. You clearly are very well studied. In your disagreements, you would have still learned.
We still would have learned, exactly.
Yeah.
So things like what my brother Cuban Link said, I'm like, that's okay, bro. I'm not, it's like I don't have to go through stuff for people to know, you know what I mean, what I am, who I am, what I've done, and so forth. I'm like, you know what I mean? I don't focus on that, but it's still love. He's still my brother. Cuban Link is still my brother. You know what I mean? I got
the next time you speak to Dancing Mo, right, Mo? Tell him that you know who Smiley brother is. My older brother, they call my older brother Smiley. Tell him you know who Smiley's brother is. And when you tell him the name Zion Lexx. Because he also know me as Zion Lexx, but he doesn't know that Smiley is my brother. So when you make that connection, watch him, but like, oh, you got a real one right there. That little dude is knucklehead. And I tell you, I wasn't no joke out here.
Okay.
Thank God for growth, brother. Thank God for growth.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely do that, bro, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But thank you everybody for listening. I don't thank you for coming, listening, to the show and our conversations, man. And thank you for having me on. And hey, until next time, man, let's keep it moving.
All right. Take care, good brother. Thank you very much. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Salute. All right, family. Incredible dialogue, incredible conversation. This is what we do here at Lexx TV. If you guys enjoyed it, like, share, subscribe on your way out. If you don't mind, donate to support the platform. There's other ways that you can support too. You can go on social media and share the link to this live stream on your social media. Brother La, I gotta have you on soon. To my brother, Biggest Titan, all the way in the UK, definitely gotta have you on soon. And to anybody that would like to appear on Lexx TV, I'm an email away. You can email me at zionlex@gmail.com. My email is at the bottom right corner of the screen. Again, everybody, my email is at the bottom right corner of the screen. If there's anybody that would like to feature content on Lexx TV, you can email me at zionlex@gmail.com. If you'd like to advertise on Lexx TV, you can hit me at zionlex@gmail.com. If you'd like to come and do a presentation, you can hit me at zionlex@gmail.com. To all of you guys out there that have truth music, also send me an email at zionlex@gmail.com. But I just want to send a disclaimer, and I hope this doesn't offend anybody. If your music is trash, I'm not playing it. I'm not one of those people that because it's an Israelite song, I'm supporting. I would love to. Somebody's going to be offended by that. But I just got to speak my truth. I would love to. But I come from a serious background of music. And if I'm going to feature your music, you got to give me real, authentic music, real good music. I would love to. So I want to hear from more of the Israelite artists and other artists in the greater community. It doesn't matter if you're Israelite or not. I would love to feature your music on Lexx TV. You can reach out to me at zionlex@gmail.com. To everyone else, I'm going to say peace. I'm going to say shalom. I'm also going to say I'm out.
Tearing down idols and we cutting down poles. We calling back Israel to the hell we know. Throwing out crystals, we don't need these stones. And we ain't no God, that's a job for y'all. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High, Yahuwah. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Yah Israel. Tearing down idols, we cutting down poles. We calling back Israel to the hell we know. We throwing out crystals, and we don't need these stones. We ain't no God, that's a job for Yah, yeah.
we cutting down poles. We calling back Israel to the L we know. We throwing out crystals. We don't need these stones. And we ain't no gods. That's a job for y'all. Everybody help me say all praise. All praise to the most. I can't hear you say. All praise to the most. All praise to the most. Hey, all praise. All praise to the God of Israel.
Purify me, Yah, in the flames. Purify me, see you let it rain. Purify me, Yah, in your name. Purify me, purify me.
Purify my heart, my home, my dome, my soul, bring peace. Purify this dirty water in my cup I drink. I only want the living water from the king. Only want the diamond pressing out of me. Only want the white garment that's clean. Only want the true facts, that's me. 24 carats I rock in my heart, but it sinks to the bottom, you know that it's pure. Coming in sharp like a dark and the aim is on point, so you know that I'm pure. Filter all the evil out of my life, so when I pour it's pure. You know that it's more. I didn't close them doors, so move your finger, boy.
Purify me, Yah, in the flames. Purify me, see you let it rain. Purify me, Yah, in your name. Purify me, purify me.
Trauma after trauma, trouble after trouble. Expected this way of life to be an eternal tussle. Thriller in Manila, told the Most High that I can endure. Increasing power with each blow. I'm telling them, give me more. It's gonna take more than just one. On that front line when it come. Boy, this spiritual warfare decided to come here, bring more than a gun. I've been purified, so down to ride as long as breath in my lungs. That consuming fire burnt my desires, never going back where I'm from. Gone.
Purify me, Yah, in the flames. Purify me, see you let it rain. Purify me, Yah, in your name. Purify me.
Man, I step out the fire, my foot on the devil, I'm talking to y'all like a FaceTime. Purify my spirit, y'all say my soul, I've been trying to stay pure on this baseline. Old folks with the old me, they don't know me. Just look at my waistline, fridges drop on the bottom, Hakuna Matata, ain't worried about none of them headlines. Fake news in the media, I'm never media unless we talk about Torah. I'm just trying to go spread the basura. Saying talking, I try to ignore. I'm looking for lost meanings in the scripture, I'm on an adventure like Dora. Y'all can write a designer, I write a designer, his image got me an immortal.
Cause I'm keeping the faith. If you're not with it, then move on my way. It's purification, it's keeping me sane. I don't get offended cause I'm not the same. If you stuck in the past or you stuck in the maze, keeping it real, a minute behind is a minute too late. If the first shall be last and the last shall be first, but I endure to the end of who win in the race. Sin of perversion, I'ma face, shuffle your boots and tie your lace. Go through the fire, then conversate. Give me your time, dog, finna wait. You back in the hind, dog, on the lake. You read it all wrong, dog, connotate. You falling behind, dog, keep the pace. You heard it all wrong, dog, spin the tape.
Purify me, Yah, in the flames. Purify me, see you let it rain. Purify me, Yah, in your name. Purify me, purify me.
Send you the first, send you the first. We going out, out. Send you the first, send you the first. We going out, out.
Preset, if you scared, then go home. And no, we ain't saying it twice. Cause once you get into this war zone, it's either your life or their life. And we ain't about losing before an intrusion. We gotta make sure we right. So we send praise and seek his face. Then we load up it is on site. What you thought it was, it's not. Don't wanna see us on your block. Yelling hallelujah, trying to tell y'all that victory is your shot. We serve y'all's out by O, and in this army of hosts, yeah, Yahoo the lead. True indeed, in his name we both gone.
Send you the first, send you the first. We going out, out. Send you the first, send you the first. We going out. Torch fire, flags in the street. Sing louder, kick up the beat. All them enemy feet get delete when we cry in the street. Drew to drop them me. Who got the praise for days? Who are the what came face? Made for praise, spit prophecy. We be that anointed royalty. I said we came. Hey. The bar Hamayim number 2, that's on replay. Yeah, we gon' bust them walls, mash up and be on our way. Yeah, to the nations we proclaim his Kudash name. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, Yah, Yah. Send you the first. Send you the first, we going out,
need every man out here standing. Got sisters home and they praying while they brothers in the field slaying.
Slaying demons in sorrow. Hamashiach, we do follow. Sword the truth, we loud no mute. We lenders out here, we know no borrow.
Jacob's seed is undefeated. We all greeted with praise and leads us through a war without a grievance. Till the win is completed, then we return with our pieces.
Peace banger, peace be still with the Rangers. Mighty Morphin, we hang them up to drop, they can hang on, hang on.
Let's go.
Send you the first, send you the first, we going. Send you the first, send you the first, we going. Send you the first, send you the first, we going out, out.
Shalom, shalom, family. This is your brother Avdiel Ben Levi, otherwise known as Zion Lexx. Go to Amazon and purchase all of my books. Type in my author name, Avdiel Ben Levi, or you can also type in Zion Lexx. There you'll find some of my earliest books and my latest works. It was written and engraved. The DNA of Sound, The Star of David Controversy, Ancient Kemet on Trial, Patriarchs of the Covenant, Matriarchs of the Covenant, and my two foremost books that are critically acclaimed on Amazon, and even one has become a bestseller, and that's going to be the Messiah Codex Volume 1 and Messiah Codex Volume 2. So go to Amazon.com today, type in my name, Avdiel Ben Levi, otherwise known as Zion Lexx, and there you can purchase all of my books. Peace and shalom, family.